Hey guys, welcome back to Bite Size Breakdown. I am Nick, and no, this is not a bigger bite. This is something different. We're here to talk about some pro wrestling. We've got WrestleMania coming up this weekend, and I've got a pretty good cast of characters here that's going to talk about some of their preview of the event, some of their predictions, and just kind of what they think about the product so far. So I will start by introducing the guys and seeing how they're doing. Dante, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Nick. I'm excited. WrestleMania season is always an exciting time of the year, whether or not the build for this Mania is as exciting as years past, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later on. But I'm excited to jump into it, talk to you guys about some predictions, some previews, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
And then we have got once again Shaq, who is becoming a bit of a staple on Bigger Bite. How are you doing today, sir?
What's good? What's good? I'm doing good, man. Like this is exciting. It's even when Mania it's bad, it's still good. So I'm very excited for whatever we got coming up, and like I'm happy to talk grappling with y'all.
And last but not least, we've got Bodie, who I think is making his first appearance here on the YouTube channel.
Yes. Yeah, actually, sorry to stutter a little bit. Actually, I was on an episode of you gotta choose with Amaru a few years ago. So I think this might be my second appearance.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
correction.
Yeah. Oh, the
Correction.
one gotta stay. Yes, sir.
One gotta stay. Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Correction. All right, we got two second timers on this episode.
All right, we got two
I
one
love
gotta
it.
stay alum. I guess all four of us are
Oh, yeah,
one
all
gotta
the
stay
alumnus.
alumni.
Yeah, guess so.
Yeah.
All right.
It
Yes.
all worked out. Look how it worked out. I swear.
Exactly.
Look at us.
We're the ones that
Look at
stayed.
Yes. But I'm very excited to be here. Especially to talk wrestling with you guys. Especially as kind of the person who's just kind of dipped his way back into it. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. A month.
Good time.
A month. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good way to start. Just kind of a rundown before we get into a full match rundown. How are you guys feeling about the product right now? Let's say within the past, let's go from Mania to this point. In the past year of this feels like it's the first year that fully is under Triple H's entire tutelage. I guess Paul Levesque
Mhm.
is what we'll call him now. How are you guys feeling about what this product has become right now?
I'll say it's a mixture of things. Like when it's good, it's really damn good. Like it's
Mhm.
like, oh, this feels refreshing, or like it'll be just like from the presentation alone already is like a vast improvement from like the days of fucking Kevin Dunn's shaky cam bullshit.
Yeah.
We get these like
We've
gorgeous
come a long
drone
way.
shots
I
now.
remember
Like,
some of those. Yeah.
like the amount of insane shots we've got of like Braun Breaker's spear is incredible with that drone camera. So like the presentation stuff I think has been a vast improvement. Some of the storylines I think have been really, really good. I do like how characters remember shit. Like it used to be just Kevin Owens being the character that remembers things from like years ago, but now everybody feels like, okay, no, we're building off of stuff for real.
Long-term storytelling is alive and well in Triple H's era of
Exactly.
running WWE.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's also the problem. He loves long term to a fault. So there's so many storylines and shit that will go at a glacial pace before they actually get any major development. And while I'm not a big fan, like I don't miss Vince's whole like let's just do shit at random just because I don't feel like it type of shtick. I still want a little bit of unpredictability as opposed to like, oh, we gotta wait 6 months before this breakup happens when you've been teasing it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's the highs are very high, but the lows can be very low. And I think like presentation, like since they've been with Netflix, it's night and day. You know what I mean? Like the way they present it, it's very top notch, top tier television programming. But unfortunately, some of the stories don't align with the production. And not to WWE's fault. I mean, it can be to WWE's fault, but like we're coming off of arguably what people consider to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 40. The build up. I mean, I saw a tweet, the 1 year anniversary of the closing Monday Night Raw of The Rock and Roman Reigns beating down Cody and Seth.
Mhm.
And this past Raw, we we just saw video packages for the Women's World Championship match, and we had a little bit of, Roman, Seth, and Punk stuff at the end, but it didn't feel like it was at the same level as last year. So it's hard to top it, but with it being kind of a cool down, it feels like compared to last year, it's some stories are really good, but some just haven't really roped me in as much as I would have liked them to.
And how about you, Bodie?
I will say when it comes to the glacial pace of things, it's good, I think, for casuals like me, I guess, because it allows me to kind of catch up with like whatever I missed. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
especially when it comes to for example, I would say the Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair situation, because some of that stuff happened months prior, like that incident. So catching up on that before Elimination Chamber was really helpful for me, especially when Jade Cargill made that appearance that she did, which I think, that really caught me off guard and caught a lot of the audience off guard.
Right. I also think it's a matter of like the reasoning for it being dragged out, because like Jade Cargill and Naomi, like there was the injury and stuff. So it's like there was a reason that it kind of, lasted as long as it did. When in some cases, like we can say like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, they have been teasing that breakup for, I feel like, a year now, and it makes no sense why they're still together. Like, why just haven't we done that breakup yet? Like, no one is like hanging on to that rope of like, we're building this on for a few months or whatever. So there are some situations where it does work and it doesn't. But that's also the beauty of wrestling, is it's subjective. So everyone's opinions are different and everything. So
that's a thing too. But I think sometimes too, when it comes to that long-term stuff, it's like, if the payoff is really good, it kind of makes you forget that, this shit went on as long.
It's true. Like to an extent, to his point, the New Day, that whole thing when they were teasing Xavier.
I'm enjoying a lot of stuff.
We were like, this is
took forever.
Let's just get on with it. But for them to do the double turn and go like, no, we're still together. Fuck you, Biggie.
Yes.
Was so good that like honestly kind of made it worth it.
And even to like a bigger extent, like Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Everyone wanted Cody to win at 39, and everyone's like, well, he's not going to be this popular again. A year later, he was even more popular
than now. He's more popular than ever.
And it was a bigger moment. Roman Reigns had the belts for an extra year, so the reign felt more prestigious. So if it pays off, like in these instances that we're talking about, then it works for me.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up the New Day. I'm enjoying everything with the New Day, especially Xavier Woods, like I guess performance you could call it, because he's just going hard on some of his line deliveries and everything.
They're getting a WrestleMania match, and they deserved it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm loving everything with them.
Well, let's get into it then. Let's start looking at the lineup. I've got Saturday's lineup in front of me, so we can start off with the newest WWE superstar. I say in quotation marks because we know he's not, and that's El Grande Americano and Rey Mysterio.
Now, I want to talk about a match that should not be at WrestleMania. I don't.
Christ.
Listen, I think this will be
that
a
El
fun
Grande
match.
shit is right out of the Vince McMahon days.
Oh man, it's gonna be a fine match. Like it's Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano, like two unbelievable luchadors. It's gonna be a great match. It's just not this is a Raw before Mania match. This should not have been on the WrestleMania card. You're telling me the Street Profits can't make it on the card, but El Grande Americano,
I know,
a month ago is.
I know.
Why
is that being relegated to
sit right with
SmackDown?
me? Doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah,
I think you've got the potential to do something good with this match, and that is you start the match off, and the person who comes out in the El Grande Americano costume is clearly not Chad Gable. And the mindset
could do
is
some funny stuff.
Yeah, because I think the El Grande Americano is a redone version of Hulk Hogan's Mr. America. Except the whole thing about Mr. America was everyone was in on the joke. And that's what made it funny. Like everyone, they all knew it was Hogan, and he was doing it so that he kind of got out of the contract thing and stuff like that. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce not knowing who El Grande, like it's almost making like an idiot of the fan in that case. So I think the only way to salvage a story is he's unmasked and he's not Chad Gable. I don't know what route you go with that. There could have been a world where before you introduced him, this could have been how you brought in Ray Phoenix, but
But the fact that they already debuted him was crazy. I thought they would
Yeah.
be saving him for post-Mania, if anything.
Yeah,
Well,
I definitely felt the same way. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's he's not going to have a program going into WrestleMania, so it's like you're kind of I get not giving it away. Like it's still a big debut and everything, but it is kind of confusing for someone to debut just like 3 weeks before your biggest show.
Yeah, I think that's it's not one I expect to be high on my match ranking. But who do we have winning this one? I'll start with you, Shaq.
I think just to build up the Grande Americano thing, like actually,
Oh, no,
no.
come on.
You know what? I think I might go to Ray, but only because I think they'll do. Yeah, they might do the unmasking at the thing, and if it is just to be like, oh, it's actually Gable, they might just do it there. But like, regardless, this match is gonna be like the bathroom cool down spot, which I hate that Rey Mysterio is in essentially the cool down match, but I feel like that's what it's gonna end up being. So I'll say Ray, but like truly, I don't think any of us really give a shit who wins or loses here.
And what about you, Bodie?
Yeah, I'm with Shaq too. I think Ray is gonna take this one, and I think that's where it reveals that El Grande Americano really is Chad Gable. I think they're probably gonna go the obvious route with that storyline, but I would be more interested if they did not go that way, like as you're predicting, Nick. I would actually prefer that.
Yeah, I
But
think there's something to do there. And I also think kind of the sad thing is we don't really know how many more manias Rey Mysterio has left in him.
yeah,
So it's kind of
I don't know the way he's
sad to see
looking,
him
all that
wasted.
stem cell treatment, like bro, he might go to
That
his
man's
70s.
knees, he might as well be 20.
I'm being dead serious, bro. The way he's fighting every single Monday, I'm with you. Like 50 is like it's a high number. All right, like he shouldn't be going the way he is in the ring, but
Yeah.
he is unbelievable.
this past Monday he was like on his
He was
A-game.
moving. He was moving. He looked good. He was good.
I'm not saying it to necessarily call out the guy, but he is still much smoother than Penta.
He's a lot smoother than a lot of guys on the roster
Yeah.
at 50. Guys half of his age, he's smoother than. And that's why I'm picking Ray to win. I think there's going to be an unmasking. I think they're going to unmask Chad. I think it's going to be revealed like he's El Grande Americano. Like, oh, everyone, we didn't know. So shocking. But yeah, to your point of like, Ray is 50. Like, how many WrestleManias does he truly have left? Give him the win. If this is going to be the bathroom break one, just let him win it at least.
Yeah. And they should start out the night with that.
It would be a fun opening match. It could be a fun opening match if they let them go for longer than like 10 minutes or something like that.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll get into this match later, but Chris Jericho is known for saying that the most important matches on the card are the opener and the closer. So I wonder if we open with Gunther and Jay.
Oh, that's 100% what I think
absolutely
it's starting with.
100%.
I think that's your opener. You gotta set the tone, right?
Yeah. Well,
you set the tone, but you kind of also are setting the bar very high. If you're starting off with a Jay winning, like you start on such a high note, and the only way to go is down. That's the only risk that you run into. The only risk.
That's the only though. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this later, but I don't think that triple threat match is gonna be a low.
No. I will go against the grain here, and I think El Grande Americano is going to win. I think he's going to screw over Ray somehow. I don't know if this storyline has a clear endpoint, and because of that, I think it's going to continue.
Fair enough.
I can see
next
that.
Next up on the list here, we have probably the biggest surprise. I don't want to say superstar, but the biggest surprise upturn in a character that we've seen, and that's Naomi. Everything she's done in this Jade Cargill feud, I think she's taken herself to one of the big issues I think she had was her ability on the mic, and it's not evident anymore. She's clearly put some work in.
Yeah.
So we have the Naomi and the Jade match, and this is a very interesting one to talk about because it's a little hard to talk about the Saturday lineup without talking about the Sunday lineup, because my biggest issue with this is we've just kind of removed Bianca, and with her reaction at Elimination Chamber and everything, they really didn't fix that up a little bit. And we'll get into this more when we talk about the other women's match, but I do think that's one thing that's kind of hurt the program is you've just removed Bianca from this and put her into the other women's title program, and you don't really know where she stands in all this, but it also wouldn't make sense for her to get involved at this point. So I think that hurts it a little, but what do you guys think about the Naomi and Jade Cargill match? We'll start with you, Dante.
All right, I'll take the reins this one. I think it's one of the best stories going into WrestleMania as far as like just the, build itself and just, the long-term story, and we're getting the payoff at WrestleMania. I'm with you. Like Bianca, I kind of figured like we have to go person by person, like Jade and Naomi have to get their beef out of the way before Bianca gets brought back in. And I'm sure Bianca and Naomi will have their feud at some point. I'm sure this will eventually lead to a Bianca Jade match. I think that's like next year's WrestleMania. Like that's what I think should happen next year. It would have been nice for Bianca to still, whether it just make references or just have like backstage interactions with Naomi or Jade, just to kind of like be in the fold. That would have been nice to see, but that has been an issue that we've been running into recently, where I feel like there has been a lot of stories that haven't been sealed shut, or like they're just being left open and there's no like nothing's happened there, and it's just very confusing.
Yeah, like the stop and start essentially.
Yeah, right. So it's like there's still something there, but they just left it alone for a little bit to do other things. They're going to get back to it, I'm sure, but it's just weird right now. I think Jade Cargill should win this match. You're talking about how great Naomi's been, and I 1,000,000% agree. I think Naomi, she should win Money in the Bank this year. I think she should win the world championship by the end of the year. I think she should win a mid-card champ. I think 2025 should be a massive year for Naomi. Give her a title reign, 1 or 2, win the Money in the Bank, like huge year for her. But Jade Cargill needs a big, big win under her belt. She's been gone since November, really. So you need to kind of build up that momentum with her. A big win over Naomi at WrestleMania, I think, does that. So yeah, I'm gonna go Jade for this match, but it can go either way. I think it'll be a great match regardless.
And what do you think, Shaq?
Pretty much 100% agree with everything Dante just said. Like this story has been just really, really strong. And yes, like the Bianca element is like it is noticeable, but it hasn't. But because Naomi has been such a massive improvement on this week-to-week basis, that it really hasn't hurt the story at all. If anything,
that's a good point.
Like just even the brief moment that Bianca was involved, like the actual breakup and like Naomi's like official heel turn was incredible because it was so emotional. Like even them using each other's real names during the promo, normally it'd be like, oh, they're just kind of like I'm gonna call him out. I don't like when MJF does the type of shit. I don't like when Punk, when he does it, it's like hit or miss. But here, because it was a point of like actual sadness, it helps for the story that like, I love you, I trusted you, and you do this. We're supposed to be like the three of us. Like that was it was genuinely like an emotion. Like I was getting like a little choked up. And
it was a great promo.
It was real.
It was fantastic.
It was real.
It felt very real.
Yeah. And Jade, of course, does need the win, so I think she's also going to take it. But I think it's going to be a competitive match. It's like it's not going to be like a 2-minute squash, or not 2-minute squash, like a 30-second squash. Because I think they both need to build each other up, and I think that like even outside of this rivalry, that they both very much do trust each other to like elevate each other in the right way in this match. So I think this will be one of like the best ones of like I would hope that it's one of the best ones of the weekend, or at least one of my favorites. So yeah, Jade for me.
And Bodie?
Yeah, I mean, I think I honestly think it could go either way. I think you Dante and Shaq, you guys brought up really great points. I think if Jade wins, it'll solidify her comeback in a really big way, which I think which would definitely, I think, give the crowd a bit of a high. And if Naomi wins, I think that solidifies that heel turn in it also in a really good way, and I think that could further the storyline forward and just, give more intrigue to see where that goes from there. I do agree with you, Nick, especially when it comes to how Bianca has kind of been seemingly left out of there. Because it really, the only time it's really been referenced in front of her is I mean, again, we'll get into that match later, but when Rhea brings it up during her whole thing with her and Io. Though I could definitely see Bianca playing a role in there when we get down to it on Saturday. I mean, we'll see what happens. It would be kind of weird if they just left her out entirely. But yeah, I definitely see it going either way. I think I'll give more of an edge to Jade, but again, I would not be surprised at all if Naomi wins, because I think I think Naomi could definitely use it for sure, but we'll see what happens. I expect it to be a very good match, though.
Yeah, I think.
Nick, what about you?
I think Jade takes this one, but I do think there is another route this could go, which is Jade wins and Naomi goes even further into the heel turn and gets mad at Bianca for not showing up on night one to help her out if Jade does something. Because I think the match is I don't think the match is Jade and Bianca. I think the match is Naomi and Bianca.
Yeah.
That's the match I want to see. Like,
oh well, that's like I think that's like a SummerSlam. Like, I know they're doing it 2 nights now, so that could even be a main event of a SummerSlam, to be completely honest with you. Like, that is gonna be an incredible feud when we eventually get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's that long-term storytelling, right?
That's right.
That's right. Love so much.
Wait, could you guys also see another scenario where Bianca just steps in there and the match, and one of them attacks her, and then the match just gets completely disqualified?
It could, but I feel like that'd be a bad way. Like, a DQ finish in a WrestleMania,
it would be disappointing.
Like a very bad idea.
Yeah. I think it would be more. I think fans, like, especially like how we're talking about, like, one of the best stories going into the Mania, like a big payoff. Like, I think ending in a DQ would be kind of, to some people, deflating, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I could
think
see
there's
like
a DQ on this card, but I don't think it's this match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste my DQ on this match.
All right, let's step into the next one, which is we were just talking about the New Day. So it's the New Day and the War Raiders. The New Day heel turn's been great. Once again, like we just talked about, the absence of Bianca. We all kind of thought, oh, maybe Big E's going to get cleared. And they've gone kind of quiet about him lately. Do we think Big E, obviously not even in ring, but do we think Big E makes an appearance here? Because this New Day thing, the heel turn's been great, but it does feel like that side of the story has kind of been spinning its wheels for a little bit.
I think so. I think
it's possible.
I think this is the most likely location that it could happen. And I think it would be something like, if like Kofi or Xavier take out a chair and then Big E comes out of nowhere and like stops them for whatever reason. That'd be the closest thing I could think of. But like, I don't think he'll get involved in ring like that, but he'll just stop them from cheating.
Yeah, I think honestly, if there's a place for it to happen, WrestleMania obviously is the perfect place for it. But them not really talking about him, or really, him being a big part of the story, makes me think that he's not gonna. I feel like they'd be hyping it up a little bit, of being like, maybe mentioning him here and there to get fans like intrigued, or like the possibility of it. And I know it could just be a big surprise and everything, and that would be awesome. But I don't know if it happens here. Like, I think it'll happen eventually. Like, Big E will get back involved, and like he'll cost them in some way, or like we'll get back to it. But I would like to see the New Day win the World Tag Team Championships, and I guess that's me giving my prediction. I want to see them win it and then have a good run with the belt, and then have Big E come back. Like, I think their heel run has been good. I do think it has been a little some weeks I feel like their promos have been pretty like copy and paste from weeks prior. And to me, that kind of like made it like it's still good, but we're just kind of cruising now. But them winning the tag team championships, I think takes their heel turn or their heel characters to the next level. And then I think once we're there, we can, eventually start bringing up Big E again. Like they'll be like, we didn't need Big E to win the championship. So we've always been better without him. And then like, then we start to, fans get more mad at them, gain more sympathy for Big E. And then we can get to that point down the line. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, but I would prefer Big E to stay out of this match at WrestleMania because I want the New Day to win.
Well, and no offense to them or anything, but I think if we took all the tag teams and we rank them, is the War Raiders even in your top 10 of what the WWE?
I do love the War Raiders.
Yeah, no, I really do like the War Raiders.
I do
those
like
are my
them.
guys.
To their defense, like
They're
their
big guys.
championship reign hasn't been booked like crazy well, but they're super impressive. I think did they announce it as a Viking Raider, like a Viking match or something like that, or a street fight or something?
No, just
Is
it's
it just
a regular
regular?
They
It's a regular
don't say
match.
anything yet.
Okay,
because
so if
they
it's
don't
just,
do the Viking thing anymore, right? So it's just like it's them in like
yeah, I guess
they're like
so.
motorcycle outfits.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fair. Yeah, but whether it's there's a stipulation to it or not, the New Day should win the championships here. I think that it'll be nice for their characters if they get it.
Yeah, I don't
Do
really
we have
see any
a
avenue
clean
where they
sweep here?
don't. Pardon?
Do we have a clean sweep here?
Clean
I think
sweep.
we all
Yeah,
we all
pretty
kind of
much.
think it's New Day.
Yeah, I'm also saying the New Day as well.
Yeah.
Again, all love to the War Raiders, but like, yeah, I don't. This reign hasn't done them any favors, so I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it would do more for the New Day for them to have it than for Raiders to keep it.
And everyone will really say, "Thank God."
You know what's funny?
The New
Is I've
Day.
seen videos of Megaran, who like the rapper who does like their theme, and he performs the song, and the crowd fully goes, "New Day sucks." It's great.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of underwhelming title runs, that brings us into the United States Championship match. So we have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I could see a world where this is another clean sweep.
Listen,
I don't think there's a hotter potential guy in the company right now than Jacob
I don't want to
Fatu.
step on anyone's toes or speak over anyone, so I'm just going to say my piece and I'm going to step back here.
Okay.
Jacob Fatu is the future of WWE. The
Yeah.
start of the rise of his stardom starts this weekend. There is a 0% chance he loses to LA Knight. The only way I'll say 0.1% chance, because that 0.1% chance is if Solo gets involved and costs Jacob, which would be absolute bullshit if that happened. Jacob Fatu should win the US championship, strap a rocket to that guy's back, because once he wins this belt, there is no turning back. We're talking about mid-card championships. We're talking about world championships. This guy has the brightest future out of anyone in the company. I will give him his flowers any chance I get. I am looking forward to him holding gold this weekend. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm also going Jacob Fatu as well. Like, the guy's a fucking beast.
Mhm. Also, I met him at last year's WrestleMania at an after party. Nicest guy in the world.
Wow.
Nicest guy in the world.
Hey.
I saw it was the day that he signed to WWE. Actually, it was the WrestleMania Sunday, and we were outside. I was like waiting for a taxi, and he's there, like a group of guys, whatever. And I see him wearing a hat that said like Fatu on it or something. He's wearing like an Umaga tribute shirt. And he made a comment. I was wearing a Red Sox hat, and he was like, "You from Boston?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Boston. Like, here for the weekend." And we were just like shooting the shit. And I was like, "Oh, I'm Dante, by the way." He goes, "Oh, I'm Jacob." And I put the 2 and 2 together. I'm like,
Oh shit.
"Oh."
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I recognized you. I'm like, that's very cool. Yeah, super nice dude. So that gives me even more reason to root for him.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
He's not the big monster you see on TV. He actually is like a
But like,
sweetheart.
you see that man on television, and that might be the scariest man on
Oh,
the planet.
100%. Oh yeah, I'm Jacob Fatu. I don't want to go up against
he
the
plays
fight.
that role so well.
Mhm.
Like that man has battle rap cadence in a way that I've never seen any other like wrestler of like this style have. Even like Usos, who had like the tag team battle rap. Like this is even more so. Like everything you say is so convincing that I'm
Yeah.
like,
That like he's so good in the ring, but I genuinely think the best part of his character is his promo work right now. Like the
Ooh,
way
yeah.
he hypes up his matches and just fucking goes
that man
off
goes like, yo,
when
I'm
he
raw,
that,
uncut with it. I'm like,
all
this man's making
gas, no
coke bars.
breaks.
This
Ooh,
man's making
fire.
coke bars on television. This
Yeah.
is crazy.
He's awesome. He's so good. He's the
I'm gonna
man.
put you in the ground.
Man.
Facts.
Legit.
He's the best.
Ooh.
He's the best.
So yeah,
He's
it's,
incredible.
I'm also Fatu, but like, man, it really hurts. Like this reign for LA Knight. Like I still do very much enjoy LA Knight, but like this reign has been
This
also
was a, I
He's
think
unnecessary.
this
really
was a
charismatic.
this was a transition reign, I think, for him. They had to get it off Nakamura. There was
Yeah,
no way they were
that's-
gonna have him defend it
He
at
shouldn't
WrestleMania.
have lost it to Nakamura to begin with. That's the crazy thing.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other thing. That
And
should have
I
never happened.
also love Nakamura, but like he's really, everyone knows that he's just there kind of coasting off the checks and shit. And so he's not trying. And so him getting the title was already like, okay, maybe we're gonna kind of build up this new style, but like they haven't done anything. He's come out to mostly silence, which is again a bummer considering how talented he is. But like for him to have the reign just felt like so unnecessary. To like you could have just had LA Knight just have this reign for this entire year. Pretty
Yeah.
much the exact same length of time that Cody's had this shit. But like, yeah, it's whatever. Like he'll be, I think LA Knight will be fine with or without the title. Jacob will, like you said, he's gonna fucking strap the rocket on this man. This
Yeah,
man's
he
going
ain't-
to the top.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna lose it. He ain't
what
gonna
I
lose it for a while.
What I want in the future, I want Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker. I want the most big meaty man slap a meat ass match in the company.
You'd get it.
That's gonna be insane.
It's
You
gonna
would
be
get
the
it.
most explosive match ever.
I mean, to be fair, like I don't think it's a hot take or anything. They're going to be your Cena and Batista. Those are going to be your two guys that the company is run
100%.
by.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. 1000%.
Yeah.
I think there's I mean, we'll get to the Intercontinental Championship match when we get there, but I'm gonna need my minute long spiel to talk about Braun Breaker as well, because that guy is. You want to talk about having bright futures? He is right there with him too.
Man.
Well, I think this next match we're going to have a lot of things to say about too, and that is the WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. One of the worst build programs this year.
It might be the worst.
Such high expectations. it's gone
such
to
a
shit.
poorly built program that I've now turned my opinion on Tiffany Stratton.
I
think
honestly feel
she's
strong
fine.
about Tiffany Stratton. I
Yeah.
think Charlotte's the problem.
Yeah,
I get it.
I'm the
Listen,
same way,
listen.
actually.
I don't want to sound like a hater or anything. I really don't. But like Charlotte, what, 14-time champion, 14-time champion?
Mhm.
She
It's more.
deserved what, half of those? Most of those championships were hot potato reign, like her and Sasha Banks trading. I'm being dead
month-long
serious.
reign.
I'm being dead serious. If you actually look at how long some of those reigns are, they might not even crack 30 days. And it's like, I don't know. Just a lot of stuff obviously became personal. A lot of unscripted stuff happened. And to me, it's like how it comes off is like Charlotte comes off as such an entitled, like, I don't know, like she's been out forever. She comes back in and now it's like, oh, like I'm the best. Like I can say whatever I want, do whatever I want. And then Tiffany, a few weeks ago, obviously, she goes off script and says stuff. Was that the most professional thing to do? No, it's not. But like at the same time, it's like when you're being attacked and your opponent's going off script, like you feel the need to retaliate and give something back. So I actually like, I disagree. Shouldn't say I disagree with you, Nick, but like throughout this whole thing, like I've actually felt more of a sour taste in my mouth towards Charlotte than Tiffany. I think Charlotte's going to win this thing because that's just what is going to happen because it's Charlotte and they want her to get 16. But I would like to see Tiffany win it. I think it would be much better for her to win it, but it's Charlotte. So Charlotte will win it.
Oh, I'm definitely more sour on Charlotte than Tiffany, but I didn't have expectations from Charlotte when she came back. She feels like,
Sure.
Like, I'm not
Nepo
saying this is a
queen.
bias. I'm not saying this is a biased Canadian, but I've preferred the runs I've gotten from Trish Stratus coming back than anything Charlotte's done since Sasha left the company.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not a Charlotte guy, but I also don't. I think someone else deserves the spot that Tiffany is getting. But we'll discuss that a little bit later. In terms of this match, how do we think it's gonna go, Shaq?
I think it'll be I think the match itself will be solid. Because like they're both like obviously Charlotte proven fucking worker that she's genuinely like, even as annoyed as I am about her, she is legitimately one of the best wrestlers in the company. So I think for her to have a match, like for her like just knock it out the park, that I'm not worried about. And neither Tiffany has also been steadily improving since she's been since NXT days. So like that I'm not worried about. Again, it's the storyline that really has been souring me like everybody else. Because the thing is, Charlotte also doesn't need, like, when she came back, like obviously her coming back at the Rumble, that was cool. She didn't need to win it, first of all.
No.
And then for her to for her to win it and then try and do the face promo when everyone's already sick of her shit.
Yeah,
that's
the audience has made that very clear.
Exactly. And then it doesn't help that like her style of like heel work is essentially steamrolling her opponent. So like it's like, I get what you mean by you soured a bit on like Tiffany, is because she didn't have much. They didn't give her an opportunity to like retort in a proper way that'd be like a 50-50 back and forth. It's like it's just Charlotte.
And that situation, like Charlotte, like unfortunately she's the vet, she'll walk all over her.
Exactly. Yeah. And like there's a way to do that doesn't feel as bad as this current does. And even with the whole thing with them being personal stuff, people have gotten personal on like wrestling promos before, and I usually have no problem with like the fucking thing with Seth Rollins and Riddle. That's still one of the funniest promos ever to me. And that shit was fire.
Yeah.
So like there's a way to do it with tact, like to be like brutal but still have some tact. And this is one where it just came out in the wrong. Exactly.
Cena Roman too. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he called out his inability to do a promo, like that was something that we all watched.
That was all facts.
Yeah. It's just this one specifically. Just it felt forced. It felt like a forced way to add like spice to a storyline that's already pretty stale. So like again, the match, I think, is solid ring work. I'm thinking, honestly, I think they might go and have Tiffany retain one. No, I think they'll have her retain once and then have Charlotte win it. If they do a rematch, Charlotte wins the rematch. So I'm gonna go. That's gonna be my like hot take.
That would be an incredible moment for Tiffany. I'll tell you what. That would be a huge stepping stone for her.
Mm-hmm.
I will bring it up because you just brought up the Rumble, Shaq, because I did allude to someone who I think deserves a spot. Roxanne Perez. I am starting to get so worried. There's nowhere else I can talk about here. I am starting to get so worried that she's going to end up like Adam Cole, where they used him perfectly in NXT. He was great. Mm-hmm. He was great. They didn't bring him up, and then he left. But it feels like the same with Roxanne. They don't want to pull the trigger. She might not leave, but that potential, that spark, that chance might pass them by. And to me, that's someone I would much rather see. I think she's a better talker than Tiffany. I think she's a better worker than Tiffany. I have nothing against Tiffany. I'm not a Tiffany hater. But to me, like, imagine if Roxanne wins that Rumble and now we have some program with Tiffany and Roxanne. Like, that's way more interesting to me. And it makes Tiffany a way stronger babyface. But instead, we get Charlotte again. And as for who's going to win, Charlotte or Tiffany, I could go either way. I think there's some really obvious answers on here. So I'm going to say that Tiffany's going to take it. I think that you've got this whole thing about Cena going for this title streak. So maybe you don't do it with him and Charlotte on the same weekend. So I'll give Tiffany the edge, and Charlotte might take it down the road. Hopefully, if they can figure out a way to strengthen this program a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Stratton will probably take this, but I fully agree with you, Nick. Roxanne should definitely be part of this. In fact, like we saw this on SmackDown on Friday when Tiffany and Roxanne were versing head to head. That would have been much stronger, especially as a WrestleMania match. It is weird that seemingly they don't know what to do with her. Like, is she still part of NXT at this point, or is she going to be part of the main roster?
Technically, it's like in an in-between stage or something.
Makes
Yeah.
no sense. I mean, she was the Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble and like
Mhm.
she had the longest showing and she was the runner-up as well.
Yeah.
And
So
I
I
don't know.
think I think Trips is still high on her. He's just kind of again long-term storytelling, so he's biding his fucking time.
I think too, it's like these stories like they had locked in, and it's like Roxanne just didn't fit into any of these stories in Triple H's eyes. So it's like maybe they'll have, a bigger story waiting for her post Mania, entering
Yeah.
one of these world title pictures or even the Intercontinental Championship. That's where I would have liked to have seen her personally. I think her having like an IC championship match with Lyra, like a multi-woman match, I thought that would have been great for Roxanne, like get her started with a mid-card championship first and then gradually build her up. But it is upsetting that she isn't on the card this year.
Yeah.
And then we lead into we'll say the second biggest match from the top because we have the main event being what it is, but it is a World Heavyweight Championship match. I think everyone and their mother thinks that Jay is going to win this because it's this great moment. And look, he probably is going to win this. Everything I've seen from Gunther, I want to see him just murder Jey Uso because he has the potential to be the scariest, untouchable heel that they like. Roman wasn't even scary. He just had his cronies with him. Like
No. Yeah.
Gunther is this one-man wrecking machine. Like, oh man, they could take this guy to the stratosphere. But I do think Jay probably ends up with this one. But what do you guys think about the build for this match in particular and this new side you've seen from both Jay and Gunther?
Man, like, okay. When it comes to Gunther, like, obviously his early part of like his reign has not been the best, but I think a lot of people were expecting him to be as dominant as he was for the IC reign. But like you need to remember that like World Heavyweight Championship, so the competition is going to be way tougher. Like we're like, oh, they should have dominated Priest. No, he shouldn't have. Like that should have been like the even matchup that it was. And pretty
Because
much
you can't, because if you do that, you're burying Priest, who is just the world champion.
Exactly.
It's a little different.
But like this whole run, he's been on a fucking mean streak from the moment Jay picked Gunther, and Gunther was like, every week I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I was like, okay, I'm even more locked in on him than I was ever before.
I'm gonna put you to sleep every night.
But it's really not until the whole Jimmy thing happened that I'm like,
God
oh no,
damn.
you made him a full-on actual deal.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to Jimmy and Gunther, that slap from before their match,
unbelievable.
That was awesome.
Last I've ever.
That was personal. That was personal.
But the match itself, I remember at one point I was like watching a little bit of it, but then I was on my computer like talking to people. I look up and then I see fucking Jimmy caked in blood. I'm like, when did this happen?
Yeah.
And for him to do the whole like spot of like him choking him out and Jay's like handcuffed. I'm like,
the handcuffing. I thought was a little much.
It was perfect.
It's
He should
extra,
have done more.
but
he should have done it more.
And people are on the Jay hate train, and I get it to an extent, but also, like, what's wrong with? There's nothing wrong with Jay. He's fine. Like, he's a capable. Like, he can wrestle. Like, he had one bad match with his brother last year, and people wrote him off entirely. And that's
it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
It was a bad match. I'm not going to deny that.
But you can't write him off because of one.
Exactly. That's when they're like, oh, the yeet merchant or whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure, the catchphrase, you can get sick of that. But like, again, he's been a solid worker for a decade plus. Let the man just try and flourish. And I also do love that Jay is actually trying to get more serious when he's like, listen, I'm a pray for what the fuck I'm about to do to you and for what you did to my brother. I'm like,
I will say
that's the edge I need from him.
That is true. But when he was on Raw and said, I'm crashing out right now, and he's just like visibly not crashing out. Like, do you know what crashing out means?
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate it. I appreciate the intensity and everything, but you are not crashing out right now. That is not what that means.
That's all to say that I also think that Jay might take it, but if Gunther, like, this is one of those ones I wouldn't be mad at either ending. Like, if Jay wins, it's a nice feel-good moment. But if Gunther wins, it's to solidify him as like, don't fuck with me.
And the sad thing is, like, I think you kind of nailed it, Shaq. Jay's fine. I think he's fine. I think he's not necessarily the guy you have run your company. And I think if Jay beats Gunther, it's as a short-term champion. And I don't really know what
Yeah.
that does for the title. Like when Big E was champion, there was a little bit more, you felt like, oh, he could actually, at this place in time, he could be one of the faces of the company. And with Jay doing it now, it doesn't feel like he really has any hope of that. And for that reason,
I mean, he practically is
know,
from like all the advertising he's on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The world
and for
of
that reason,
WrestleMania
I don't
stuff.
know. I don't know why you put that belt on him, because all you're going to do is distinguish this new violent Gunther, which is the most interesting the character has been, who's obviously always been a great in-ring worker, but this is easily the most interesting thing he's done on the mic. So I'm going to go against better judgment, and I'm going to say that Gunther wins this match.
I honestly think this is a situation where WWE kind of put themselves into a corner because Jey Uso is going to win. He is going to win because of the moment. And just there's no way they built up Jay for this long to have him. Because if Jay loses, because I want Gunther to win. Nick, I want Gunther to win. I hate that they just started this vicious side of him 3 weeks ago, weeks before he loses the belt. Like, I wish they'd started this months ago, because if he was like this the whole reign, we wouldn't even be talking about it being like anything lesser than the IC belt, right? But
or the reverse. If this was the Gunther we had a month ago, I didn't care about him losing the belt.
Sure, 100%. Yeah,
but
once they did this, it's like now I don't want him to lose. A month ago, I'm with you. I'm like, you know what? If they take the belt off and give it to Jay for a short reign, like maybe it's for the best. But now I don't want Gunther to lose. But if Jay loses this weekend, the drop off from where he is now, it's a lot bigger than if Gunther loses, because Gunther has been a champion for 80% of his WWE career. We can lay off of him with a championship for a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what Gunther does without a championship. I'm interested to see how they book him without one. I do think that the value of the world championship does take a little bit of a hit, because I don't think Jay is as good of a wrestler as Gunther, and I don't think the matches that he'll have with the belt will be as of good quality as a Gunther performance. But I think, again, the drop off of Jay losing is much bigger than the drop off. I don't even want to say a drop off of the value of the championship. And plus, Jay makes them so much money. You're telling me that they're not going to have Jay win and then sell World Heavyweight Championship Yeet shirts? They're going to make millions of dollars off of those. Of course, they're going to have Jey Uso win for the business side of things. Yeah. I think it'll be a short reign. Like, I don't see him holding the belt past SummerSlam, but for the moment itself, and for the money being made, and for the sake of that they built him up for so long, he's going to win. He's going to win this weekend.
All right, well, let's jump into the main event of night one. We have got the triple threat match, and it is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Shaq, what do you think about the build of this? What do you think about this match? What do you think about these individuals?
Man, okay, so I have complex feelings for all of them, really. I will say that I appreciate that this is the first time I ever see a triple threat match that's not built for a title, but it's built off of pure negativity. These people
pure hate
the shit out of each other. And I love that that's the fuel for this. But like I said, I have complicated feelings with all of them. Roman, that whole early run was fucking garbage until he became the tribal chief, and then I'm like, okay, they finally locked in and got it. CM Punk, loved him, got sick of him, loved him again, and now I'm just like, okay, I like that he's here. Just the fact that he's even wrestling again is a fucking miracle and a half. Rollins was never my favorite for the Shield. Like, even as a solo guy, he was always a dude I liked and respected, but he was never like my favorite in any respect. Also, hot take, I fucking hate his current theme song. I hate the old bullshit. I hate all of that. I turn my TV on mute for that.
You don't like the singing?
You probably keep it on mute for a long time.
I'm cool with the flamboyant costumes and him being like an obnoxious asshole. I hate the theme and the singing. That's the only thing I can get rid of that. This match, I've been rocking with it. Even this whole thing with the favor and Paul Heyman getting involved. Okay, there's like additional wrinkles. It almost feels like some like trademark Triple H overbooking. But as far as it goes, I think it's a main event match for a reason. Like there was no other place he could really put. Like I don't see a match with Roman Reigns now not being like the last match on the card. Even Tyler, no,
he's guaranteed a main event every single WrestleMania now, basically.
Exactly. And CM Punk, his whole thing is like, I want a Mania main event, and he's finally got it. So it's like a perfect storm of things.
He definitely did get a main event. He didn't get the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point, with Mania being 2 nights, I'm fine with that because that like Kevin Owens has main evented night 1 twice, I will not take that away from him ever.
0% chance.
No.
I'm just busting balls, but I will say there is one match that closes out the entire WrestleMania weekend, and to me,
true.
That is
also,
there are 2 main events, but there is the main event.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Still, people go home after the main event, so it's still
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Imagine people that camp out in the arena for the next day.
At this point, CM Punk can just accept whatever he gets.
Yeah.
That's
how he is now, because he's like,
there's no guarantee.
After the shit he done with an AEW and the bridges he burned, he's like, I'm happy to just be here. But as
he'll take night 1 happily. He'll take a night 1 main event.
Like, there's some professionals here, as he claims. But like for the match itself, it'll be a fun ass match. It'll be people hate each other, beating the shit out of each other. As for who wins, my hot take is even though with all I just said, I think Seth might take.
Let's go.
Because I think out of the 3, he's the one who kind of needs it the most. Roman doesn't lose anything from not winning this. Punk doesn't lose anything, but like Seth has, because it's also been mostly Punk and Roman and Punk concerning the custody of Paul Heyman. That's been like the main thing. They're kind of going to underestimate Rollins. So I think he might steal away with the win.
And then we might find out what kind of favor Paul Heyman owes Seth.
Exactly.
In that moment.
And also, like, I know I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he put the idea of maybe like Punk wins and they kind of build off of that. And say if Cena wins for his match, that they kind of build towards Cena and Punk, the final, like the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that as a possibility. But for me, for my gut, I'm going to stick with Rollins as like my surprise pick.
I am going to ignite your flaming hot take with one of my own. I don't like Seth Rollins. I think he's basically just a more serious version of Dolph Ziggler. I think he's a great worker that enhances I think he's a great worker that enhances every match he's in, but I don't find him particularly interesting as a character. His laugh annoys me. His theme song is fine. It's just a different version of Sami Zayn's theme song with the OO. And
except I like Sammy's, that's the problem.
Except I like Sammy's, that's fair. But yeah, like I think he's a great worker, and that's really all that has ever jumped out at me about him. As a character, he's never been someone who interests me all that much. And because of that, I think there's 2 ways this goes. I think, yes, you have a chance that Punk wins, and you branch off to Seth and Roman, and Punk goes off to Punk and Cena. I also think there's an interesting option here where Paul Heyman sides with Seth, because he has his thing with Roman, he has his thing with Punk, and if he turns on both of them and goes with Seth, now all of a sudden you make up for the fact that Seth isn't that great of a character, in my opinion, and you give him the mouthbox of Paul Heyman. And then you can still go with Roman because Paul's turned on him. Maybe you go with another triple threat rematch at Backlash, or you get Cena or someone to do something that Punk goes away from the Heyman of it all. But I think you can go both routes. But yeah, I'm sorry. I've never been a Seth Rollins guy. He just doesn't do anything of interest for me. I'm sorry, Dante.
Hey man,
I didn't go say it. Go ahead, let's go.
I listen. I said it earlier. The beauty of wrestling is it's subjective, and everyone has their opinions, and that's what makes it so fun to talk about. my opinion is I think Seth Rollins I think he is the unsung MVP of WWE. I think he has been someone that has the quality of matches, the quality of work, and, you know, not for nothing, like with his world championship reign last year, towards the tail end of it, this guy was barely walking. This guy was barely making it to his match, like making it down the ramp. And the fact that he was still able to put on amazing matches, like the 2 WrestleMania matches he had last year, he was in the tag team match with a torn meniscus. Like the guy had to get surgery later that week. It was, I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I think he's going to win this Saturday because I think the biggest story for the remaining of this year, or at least like building up to SummerSlam, is Roman Punk. That needs to be a one-on-one thing. I was in the camp of thinking Paul Heyman should turn on both of them and side with Seth. But then I thought about it where if Roman and Punk is happening, Paul Heyman's going to be in the center of it. Like, I think he needs to be with someone to keep that feud relevant. Because I think, like, you can build a story about Punk and Roman hating each other, but the real divide here is Paul Heyman, and that they're both their best friends or whatever, and they both want him on their side. So I think because that should be the feud going in for the rest of the year, Seth should win this, and he deserves it. Roman isn't around. Roman shows up once every 2 months, so it's okay if he loses. He probably won't even get the pin, to be honest with you. CM Punk, I think, would be sick to see him win at WrestleMania, but he is getting his main event. So he's beaten Seth Rollins a few times. So I think Seth Rollins
almost every
should get
single
this one.
time except for like the steel cage match.
Exactly. Like in this, have Seth pin CM Punk. Like I think that's how it should end. Like have Paul Heyman. I kind of entertain the thought of Paul Heyman screwing over both Roman and Punk because he's like, you guys are children. Like, fuck you guys. Like, neither of you deserve to win. And he might help Seth win without like aligning with him. But whatever happens, it's the main event, so something crazy will happen. Seth, I think, should close out with the win. He absolutely should.
Yeah.
Well, and we all know how this would go if Vince was still booking it.
Well, thank God he isn't.
Would be I was a wise man and I'm his best friend, but before that I was an advocate, and then Lesnar's music hits. Because that's how it would have gone in Vince's world. No. It's 100% how it would have gone in Vince's world.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you.
Dante, I respect everything you just said about Seth Rollins being the MVP and everything. I think that is an accolade I would give to Kevin Owens. But
my guy,
he put his neck
Kevin
on the
Owens
line.
He did put his neck on the line. But Bodie, what do you think about this match?
Man, you know, I had in my notes initially, like, I would like to see what happens if Rollins wins, just to see what kind of favor Paul owes him or something. And now you guys have really fully convinced me about that. I do think Rollins could pull a surprise attack. And then I think, honestly, to Dante's point, like, Paul could help Rollins win without necessarily aligning with him. Like, Paul Heyman could be his own lone wolf and just run on his own and leave the 3 to kind of work shit out from there.
He could just be like, don't think I helped you. Like, I didn't help you. Like, it wasn't for your sake. It was to screw both of them. It was for me. Exactly. It was not you. It's me.
Exactly. And I think that would be an interesting thing, especially in Roman's case, because he can kind of look inside himself and figure out, who am I without my wise man? You know?
Yeah.
But
that's a character arc right there for Roman Reigns. How is the tribal chief without Paul Heyman? We only got that for like when him and Brock Lesnar for the WrestleMania 38 feud. Roman Reigns turned on Paul Heyman for like 2 weeks.
That's right.
And that was the only 2 weeks that we saw him without Paul. So it would be interesting to see what the tribal chief does without a wise man.
Character development. You know what that's going to be? Yeah. Cinema. Absolutely cinema.
Always. That's the word we're looking for. Always cinema.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I mean, I kind of wonder what that would add with CM Punk's story arc, but I think it probably doesn't really matter that much.
It's CM Punk. He'll be relevant. He'll find his way.
He'll find anything. Some avenue. Yeah. He'll have one promo and you'll be like, all right, I'm locked in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Big time.
But I think Yeah,
It's the main event for a reason. I was at first I was all for the woman triple threat match main eventing, but over the last few weeks, the way that story kind of like I don't know.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
But this triple threat match, like at this point, like I get why it's main eventing. Like it definitely it feels
it'll be a
right
fun
being a main
match.
event spot. Something crazy is going to
Regardless what
happen,
happens.
and something crazy will happen at the end for sure.
Yeah.
So Bodie and Dante, you guys both have Seth winning. Shaq, do you also have Seth winning this?
I also do have.
Let's
Seth.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm gonna pick Punk for the simple fact of we've never gotten a one-on-one resolution of Seth and Roman, and I feel like if we move to Punk and Roman, we still never get that, and that feels like something that still needs to happen. So I'm gonna give you that.
What I was saying, everything about Punk Roman, it could easily be Roman Seth. But the reason why I think Punk Roman should be the feud for the rest of this year, because Roman Seth, the only place for that one-on-one match to happen, in my opinion, is WrestleMania. So I would like to see them hold it off, maybe, because it's a long-term storytelling. It's been there long enough where I think they could stretch it on for like another year and just like deliver, have the payoff be at the biggest stage. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, that is our conclusion of night one of WrestleMania this year. Before we get into, we're recording this on Tuesday, so we do still have SmackDown to go. Obviously, we had the unfortunate injury announcement for Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think we're going to get Randy on this card? And if so, what do you think the Orton match is going to be?
I'll start it off. I do think he's gonna have a WrestleMania match. Listen, you've been kind of building up to this. It's unfortunate because this was one of the best stories going into the weekend. But the way that they've been playing it off the last few weeks makes it seem like he is gonna have a match still. Who it's gonna be, I don't think it should be like a because I know people are throwing around like Rusev, Aleister Black, like these returning guys. I don't think that should happen because I don't think those guys should be taking a loss as soon as they return. You know what I mean? I think it would be smarter for them to, debut on a SmackDown and get a win or something like that. And then you start it going there. Debuting or returning and then losing right away at Mania. It's at Mania, so it's a big stage. I don't know if I don't know if I would prefer that. I honestly like Nick Aldis, maybe. They're throwing his name around. He still is great, like in shape and stuff. I'm sure
that's who I have in my head, actually.
But I really don't know like who it could be. Like I do think he's having a match. Like and that's the crazy part is like I don't know. It's crazy.
I know they're very picky about who makes the WrestleMania card, but man, if you're going for the pop and stuff, wouldn't it be great to see Orton and Joe Hendry?
Oh my god!
He can take the loss. Yeah. You can take the loss. You get the pop.
Mm-hmm. You don't a TNA World Championship at WrestleMania.
That's the thing. It makes sense with the pairing. Like I think that's a really cool way because they're very clearly doing the vignette for Aleister Black. I was a massive Aleister Black fan in NXT. I don't want to see him rush that. Rusev without any rhyme or reason to him. I don't think it makes sense. I think the best route to do with Orton is this thing that you did with Seth when you debuted Cody. But have it be someone that's a returning person, someone who can take the loss. Maybe a legend. He was the legend killer once upon a time, but
right.
I don't know if someone on the roster makes sense or someone who's going to be debuting on the. Like, I don't want to see Orton and Ray Phoenix. Like, I want
maybe it's like a one-off. Or
I'll
something
tell you
like
who
that.
I don't want. I'll tell you who I don't want. If it ends up being fucking Carmelo Hayes, it will hurt my fucking soul. Like Carmelo is too good to be in the position that he's currently in. And I know he's got his whole shit with the Miz. Get that shit, just dead.
Yeah, that Miz shit is dumb.
It's bad. And I like the Miz too.
I respect the Miz, but not in the year of 2025. Carmelo Hayes needs to get far away from him.
Yeah, that man should be in the upper card, but no. He's
who
so many fucking losses. But
who I just it came to my mind. Not to interrupt you, Shaq. Sorry. I honestly think like story wise, like it. I think this would make the most sense. It could be Sami Zayn, like Kevin Owens' former friend, being like, "Hey, like you want a tough opponent. You know, it was supposed to be Kevin Owens. It was supposed to be this big match. If there's someone else I could deliver and step in his shoes, like it's me. Like let's have a match." and
They've
it's just
never
built
wrestled-
and
wait,
it's
have they
just built
wrestled before?
around two. It's just built
think so.
around two good wrestlers. I don't think they've had a
Mhm.
one-on-one match before.
That would be
You-
that
and
would
Sammy
be a
can
good
lose.
showcase.
Do they have
Sammy-
anything against each other?
I don't like. I mean, I think just the connection is just like, hey, like you were supposed to fight my older friend. I don't have a
Yeah.
match. Like, and I think that's all that needs because
Mhm.
Sammy is a great enough wrestler where he can step in and they'll have a good match, and he doesn't need to win. Well, I would like Sammy to win, but he doesn't need to win this match. It's just kind of like a. Remember when AJ and Finn Balor had their match at TLC years ago because Bray Wyatt got sick and they just kind of had to put that together?
Yeah.
It could be like this, where it's like a match we weren't expecting. It was their first time one-on-one in WWE, and just do it. And then it's like, all right, then they go their separate ways after WrestleMania, and they both got their match. That could be that could make sense. That could work.
Yeah.
It's tough because Orton doesn't really have a route to go. Like you would assume that there was the Owens match, but you would assume that program was going to go beyond Mania, and probably Sami Zayn was going to get involved in it down the road. You don't want someone that you can like dash any hopes of. So it's a really difficult person to put in. That's why I think maybe the idea of bringing a legend back or someone that he beats, because like I've heard the idea that, you know, you haven't done anything with the Wyatt Six. Why don't they come and attack Orton and stuff? But then you're going to have a program with Orton and the Wyatt Six. Like that doesn't
And
work
plus,
either.
also,
So
Backlash is the next pay-per-view, which is in St. Louis, and Randy Orton is on the poster.
He's on
So
the
he's
poster,
1,000% going to be involved in
Yeah.
a big match. And yeah, he needs to get a win. He just needs to get a win. Honestly, whoever it's against, like I trust whoever they put up against him. As long as Randy wins, then whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't win anything at WrestleMania, he'll definitely win something at Backlash.
Yeah, you would think. You would hope so.
Yeah, exactly. You would hope so.
again, it's
I
not
do
Vince
think I-
booking. The hometown boy doesn't always lose now.
That's true. Yeah. I honestly, yeah, I mean, I don't know which way to get. I think Nick Aldis would be really fun. It would be kind of
he's
funny.
still like he's not retired. Like the door has always been open for him to compete. And I know it's a last minute thing, but he does look like he's in great shape and probably
He does
can
look
still-
like he's
it
in
can
good
go.
shape.
So
Exactly. And it seems like it would make the most sense considering, you know, the RKO.
He's RKO'd him multiple times.
Multiple times. Exactly. It's like, yeah, it's a good way of Nick finally trying to get his, you know, get some sort of revenge. And, you know, I feel like when Randy threw, you know, Mickey James's name in there, it felt like, okay, maybe they're teasing this. That could be kind of fun.
Or Nick Aldis has taken it personally, being like, all right, bet I'll find you someone that's gonna kick your ass type of thing.
That's true.
Could
Yeah,
be
exactly.
that too.
Yeah,
the
which
Aldis
is where
thing does
I think
feel. The Aldis thing does feel a little bit like Miz and Bryan when Bryan wasn't cleared. It feels like you're gonna have this thing, but it's not gonna turn into a match by any means.
Yeah.
So I just don't think they want to pull that trigger. I hope this isn't a
It's-
spot where
it'll
you get
just
like
be
a Pat
Omos.
McAfee.
It'll just be Omos.
God, man, they should have just kept fucking Omos in
What the fuck?
Japan. He was doing good over there too.
No shit.
Yeah.
Have we seen
No
Omos take
kidding.
an RKO? Because that'd be cool.
Oh, it'd be cool to
It would be
see.
a
That's a
big
big
RK.
boy to
The
take an
bigger they are, the
RKO.
harder they fall. So that would be something.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the actual card that we have here. And we'll start off with AJ Styles and Logan Paul. Probably one of
Poor
the most
AJ.
hated wrestlers in the company.
Poor
He's
AJ.
got
I think
that
the match
Xbox
is going to
heat.
be. I think the match is going to be great. Believe it or not, I do think it'll be a good match. Logan Paul is, say what you want about the man himself, but he is a talented professional wrestler, and AJ Styles is one of the best. I think that they will bring the best out of each other, but
AJ better win.
AJ shouldn't be in this position, man. Why are we wasting our? We were talking about Rey Mysterio only having a few WrestleManias left.
Yeah.
At least, like, at least we're giving Rey a guy that we respect and chat, or Grande Americano. We're giving him Logan Paul, bro. Like, come on. Like,
And
I
we've
think
already
Logan Paul
given him
could put on a
Shane
good
O'Mac.
but yeah, like, dude, if AJ Styles didn't have the WrestleMania track record than he did, then maybe so be it. But like, this man can't afford to have matches against Logan Paul when he only has like 2 years left of his career. Like, I'm rooting for AJ. I really hope he wins. If Logan Paul wins, I'll feel some type of way.
Yeah, I don't overly care about Logan Paul. To me, the most interesting thing about this is the involvement of Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross,
So
who I
underrated.
think next to Roxanne is the person that they are just not rolling with that they should. He to me, he should have LA Knight's role. He's better in the ring. He's just as good on the mic. Like, I think he needs to be given that opportunity. But I think this is where what I alluded to earlier. This is where I could see a disqualification finish, and it would be due to the involvement of Karrion Kross. I think it's kind of set up for that. But what do you guys think about? What do you think, Shaq, about this match?
I can see that. Fuck Logan Paul. Like, get him out. Like, not even like awesome. Like, get him the fuck out of the company. Like, this dude. Like, yes, he is a talented athlete, and like he can do these moves. But like, I still don't think if you were to put him against like another wrestler who's not on the caliber of AJ or Rollins or Ray, like people who are like known to be like the best in their field, you put him against like an average wrestler, that man will fall the fuck apart.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of his matches, or if not all of them, have been against like top notch like workers.
People who
you
can
know what
carry
I mean?
and put the match together from like A to B.
Yeah,
He doesn't have that. Like literally the most in terms of any sort of kindness I will give him. I told Bode this when we went to Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Is that like his theme is accidental? Like I am angry that it seems like it's kind of a banger. That's the only thing I'm like, okay, the humble thing kind of works, but I fucking hate that you're the person who has this. But like the match itself will be fine. I do agree with you that like the DQ finish, like there's a potential here, especially with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross has been a dude I went from like I don't care to like okay, it's a little intriguing. First, I found it funny that he was like taking credit for every single heel turn in the company, going like I instigated that like on some Sean O'Hare shit. But yeah, no, it's I do like what they're doing. That the instigation stuff does work for me. So I do like that element. If it comes into play, I would hope it does. But I'm rooting for AJ, and that's because I want literally nothing to do with the person at the other side of the ring. So AJ, please.
Yeah, I'll take AJ as well. Bodie?
Yeah, please, AJ. Please.
please.
Let him win this. He doesn't have a lot of time in the company. Just let him take this. Fuck Logan Paul. Fuck everything about it. Well, except again, he is talented. He knows what he's doing in the ring. I will give him that. But just fuck, man, he repulses me. Fuck
impulsives you.
Oh God. Fuck that too.
Sorry, that was a layup.
Fuck his new HBO Max reality show that he has with his brother. Just fuck Logan Paul all day, every day.
We ain't watching that. We ain't watching that.
Yeah. I you know what? It's funny. I saw a clip from the show where Jake Paul, I think, was talking to Randy Orton, and Randy Orton was I think Jake Paul was like vlogging in one of the PPEs, and Randy Orton was joking like, aren't you too rich to keep doing this? And
yeah,
that's fair. That's a fair question.
Yeah, that's a fair question. I think he was joking, but Jake Paul took it so personally.
Of course,
and he was like, who the fuck is Randy Orton to tell me I'm too old to do this? I'm too rich to do this. I can beat your ass in this ring all day, every day. It's like, oh, okay, you want to try that?
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
You do bring up an interesting point, though, Bodie. Like, we know what Triple H views these events as. Somewhere here is going to be some kind of celebrity involvement.
A streamer.
Absolutely.
Where do you think it's going to end up?
If fucking Kai Cenat shows up at the fucking ring.
No. They got their Royal Rumble spots and everything. I don't know if we'll have any I think maybe like maybe there will be another person showing up in a prime bottle. I can see like honestly maybe Jake Paul's in the prime bottle or something, but I don't know.
Maybe
Randy Orton did RKO Speed at WrestleMania last year. He did bark at it and do that. So
maybe Speed gets speared again. You never know.
I would love that. I would love that.
I genuinely unjokingly love the idea of IShowSpeed showing up and taking all of the most devastating finishers every year.
Hey, if he
I think
if
that's
he
great.
shows up and takes a move and it doesn't affect the finish of the match, all for it.
Yeah.
All for
Doesn't
it.
even need to be a match. Just run in,
Sure.
take it.
Yeah, like a little
great.
segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
He's
I'm with
a
you.
good sport. He's a really good
Oh,
sport. I'll
listen,
give
if
him
you can
that.
take that Braun Breaker spear, you're a great sport.
Yeah.
You're a great sport. You're not a good sport. You're a great one.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into the next one, which is the Sin City Street Fight. We've got Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Dante, what are you thinking about this one?
How do you make people care about this match? Make it a street fight.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know. Drew McIntyre, it just feels weird. Like, no disrespect to Damian Priest. Like, he beat Drew for the world championship at WrestleMania last year, and he was, held the belt for a little bit, and he deserves that respect. But Drew McIntyre, man, he went from being the quote unquote bloodline hunter 3 months ago to them scrapping that storyline and putting it with Damian Priest. And it's like, again, no disrespect to Priest, but when you're setting me up, you're getting my expectations of a him versus Roman Reigns match, and then going from that to him versus Damian Priest, I'm going to be a little bit, underwhelmed. I don't think the match will be bad because I think they're both phenomenal. I think Damian Priest is a very underrated worker and can go with anyone. And I think him and McIntyre being bigger guys, I actually think they'll have a good match together, especially with the street fight stipulation. Have them go crazy with the chairs. Have them get the kendo sticks. Put someone through a table. Have them actually do some shit. Because I think that's how you make the match memorable. Without a stipulation, I don't think no one would be revisiting or rewatching this match unless it's a 5-star classic out of nowhere. I do think Drew should win. I don't even think it's a debate. Drew had the feud of the year at CM Punk, lost the feud of the year to CM Punk, and I don't know how or when he gets back into the world championship picture. But my God, if he doesn't win the WWE championship this year and actually has a good reign, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. But if we're gonna be doing that, it starts at WrestleMania. He needs to get a win. This might be my biggest guarantee. There's no way Drew McIntyre loses this weekend.
It feels like if things go the way, I think it'll go. If things don't go the way, I think it'll go with Gunther, and we get Jay. McIntyre is probably the one to take it off Jay. I think.
Oh yeah, I'm even thinking WWE
see
championship.
Yes.
I'm thinking him beating Cody. Fuck Jay. I'm saying Drew McIntyre should go for the golden goose. I think he should go and win the big belt.
One.
Yeah, I'm being serious. I think that's the position he should be in. He could go back, and he is on SmackDown now. So if the belt stays on SmackDown, then that kind of also it depends on what happens with Cody John. But no, I won't complain as long as he wins a world championship, and he wins a world championship. In my head, he has the WWE championship.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how they handle a street fight because you have just the violence of the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match as kind of your most recent plunder match, we'll call it. And then you're going to compare it to what you've seen, the gore fest that you've seen in AEW.
Yeah.
I'm curious
need
to
to
see
not try
if
and
they
replicate
try.
Don't
They will never. They will never.
So that's the thing, though. I'm curious to see what their version of a street fight in this world is, because you've done a relatively unbloody but very violent match with Owens and Zayn, and then, like I said, you've got the gore fest in AEW. So if you're going to try and do something to make this stand out, I don't know what they do, how far they're willing to go, and if this feud deserves that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the feud. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this should be on the Mania card. I don't think this is a WrestleMania match, personally. I think to make it memorable, there will be a big spot. I think there has to be something that happens that gets people to talk about it. But honestly, it'll just be a typical WWE street fight, I think. A 10-minute match, just kind of going around the ring, getting some chair shots in, stuff like I mentioned. And they go to the back, they have a beer at the end of the night. I think that's just how that's a WWE street fight. I don't think they'll try to, they can't one up Kevin Sammy. That they won't be able to do that for a long time. And AEW is a whole
That's a whole other
thing.
level.
That's
yeah.
a whole other thing. Yeah. WWE will never try to compete with that ever.
No, but yeah, like that match. I honestly, I'm fine with it being on the Mania card. This is again my designated like big meaty men slapping me match. So
you
like
were talking about Ray and El Grande being your go to the bathroom match.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, but I think this would be mine.
Even Logan and AJ is that for me.
Logan and AJ,
there's another match on
honestly,
this card that is that for me. We'll get to that.
That's not bad. That's a fair point.
This one, again, Drew's been the fucking MVP of like the last like 2 years. And Damian, like you said, is very underappreciated just in general.
I agree.
Even like since he broke up from the Judgment Day, he's been doing his own thing, and like his thing's been working at least for me anyway. With this match, there was a whole thing of like Drew getting injured, like with the thing of the eye. I think this added, like, thankfully, like it works out that like he's been cleared, but like that's an interesting wrinkle. The one thing that bothered me was when he took Damian's chain, and I'm like, we just did this shit with the fucking bracelet last year.
Oh yeah,
let's not do this shit again.
He loves taking things from his.
He loves just snatching people's stuff. Fucking raccoon ass. But in terms of this match, I don't think it'll be like anything super great, but I think it'll be entertaining enough. Drew will do some fucking shenanigans to make it to be funny. Damian will be all business. I don't know what the finish will be. I also do think that like Drew is probably going to take it. I think it benefits him more. I don't think like Damian will lose too much by like doing this, but I also don't know what he would do after this. I think he'd be probably somewhere in the mid card. Hopefully, have
Damian. I think Damian could be a great first feud for Jacob Fatu for the U.S. belt. To be honest with you, I think Damian's a good worker to get to feed to Jacob for at least a match or two.
Mm-hmm.
And if Damian wins, I think if Damian wins and he beats Drew, you kind of have to push Damian at that point and kind of put him in a prominent position. And I don't know if they want to be putting him in that position already after, removed from losing the world championship. I don't know if he's going to be in the mix for a world championship the next few months.
Not yet anyway, but it'll be a solid match, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be
all right, well,
closer to the best matches, but I think it'll be. I think it'll be a middle of the pack,
solid,
match,
like upper middle at most. I think.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. I do hope they do something to make it stand out a little more. I don't think they're definitely gonna go for blood or anything. In fact, I'm actually surprised. I mean, I think I talked to Shaq about this when it came to the Kevin Owens match. I'm surprised there was no blood when it came to that. It was violent enough.
It's an unsanctioned match and you don't have blood.
I know. I know. I was shocked.
Yeah.
No, but they
did. It was still.
They made the right call.
Yeah,
honestly,
but
it was brutal enough.
It was brutal enough. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of hope Damian wins this because at least it'll put him more in a prominent position. But I mean, Dante, you bring up a good point. You don't know if they want to do that just yet. But yeah, I don't know. I think the match could be pretty entertaining regardless. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've only got a couple matches left on the card, so let's go into the Women's Tag Championship. We've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, a team that was just put together to get Bayley on the card, I guess.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that I'm like, this is the aforementioned, this would be the
bathroom break.
Hurts me because I have long, Liv Morgan and Bayley are the loves of my life. And so for them to be in this nothing tag match, it doesn't really make sense for me. Liv and Raquel, them having the titles is not a problem for me. It's Bayley and Lyra being just shoved together as a tag team.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
It's very random.
It's feels thrown together, and also Lyra, she's a good worker, but I've never been able to care about her at all. She's got the cool entrance, the bird girl. I haven't seen her call on the internet. The bird stuff is cool, but I don't like she never gets me mostly invested in her matches, or I usually find myself invested in the other person. Like in the case like when she was fighting like Dakota Kai, I'm a longtime Dakota Kai fan, so I'm like more invested already. But like her promo work has never been like anything more than like, okay, it's here, it exists. So that's why the two of them, like Bayley and Lyra, again, doesn't make sense. Liv and Raquel should be fighting like another team. I don't know what team it could be. But that's also how they treat the women's tag division. Has just been like thrown together shit. That's just an indictment on the women's tag division, if anything. But I don't think it'll be a bad match. They're all solid workers. Liv, I feel like should be in a better place than where she currently is, especially considering she was carrying like the latter half of last year. But as far as it goes for who's gonna win, I think they're gonna retain. But like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I'd
is
like to see
definitely
Liv out of this tag division.
this is just a very thrown together match. I think this was just, hey, we need a few of you. Like, we don't want to leave off Liv or Bayley off the card or anything. So let's put this together. Bayley and Lyra, like, I don't see them winning. They just got put together. I think if anything, this kind of just like, I guess to help the IC belt, like maybe further their story or anything like that. But yeah, I think this is just a throw on the card. Don't see it being more than like 6, 7 minutes, 8 minutes or something, and easy retain for Liv and Raquel. I think that's all this match is.
Yeah.
Anything to add there, Bodie, or we good to pass this one by?
Yeah, I'm the same thing. I think they're gonna retain their titles unless they want to like solidify Bayley and Lyra as like, this formidable tag team match that, even though they're thrown together, they make perfect sense and they're this new threat. But yeah, no, but yeah, I think it's Liv and Raquel. They'll retain things.
I think this we've seen enough of this iteration of Triple H's WWE that maybe it's time we consider having singular women's tag champions and singular men's tag champions, because I don't know if we have enough firepower for two divisions on each show anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think
the other teams.
I think the men's tag team division is getting better, but like the women's tag team division has always just been like, I don't know, they don't have enough like solid like teams that have been together. Like the KCs have been together. Like that's the OG tag team, but they get no time on television.
Fucking Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, they could have been the ones to like, if it was them against Liv and Raquel, then you'd be like, okay, there might be something here. They might snatch it from them and take the titles back to NXT or something.
If they didn't release Isla Dawn, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn,
exactly,
they were a formidable tag team. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm happy that they split up the tag team championships for the men, because it really was like a shit show towards the tail end of the unified tag team championships. But I think it's just a matter of WWE actually putting in the time to the division and like caring about legitimate teams, because I feel like if you look in the history of all women's tag team champions, like most of the winners or the champs have been two random wrestlers put together. You know what I mean? Or not much backstory together, at least.
Aside from like probably like Katana Chance and
I was gonna say there's very few.
Like they're like the only
control.
like team that's like an actual legit team that I could think of.
Right.
Other than that, it's like thrown together stuff.
Yeah, not many.
And to me, that's why I think it's more interesting if you have singular titles, because how long has it been since on one of these pay-per-views we've seen a tag match that's non-title related? And I think they always feel like tag teams need to be title matches. If you have a singular title, I think you really have a chance to build it up more. And sure, we had that real run of the Usos in the men's division for a while, but you've built up a lot of good tag teams. And if you only have the singular titles, you give a chance to actually have other programs that don't have to do with the titles grow, which right now, I grew up in the heyday of the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian. Like these were teams you could root for. The Hollies, like there was lots of tag teams. There's tag teams that forgotten about at this point. Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Like these were fun. These were fun tag teams, and they weren't all in the title picture. So I think it
Grant,
would be
I
cool
mean,
if we went back to singular belts.
I get that perspective. That's like you look at this, and then you look at like the SmackDown tag team division. It's like there's 5 tag teams over there that should be on the Mania card: Street
Yeah.
Profits, La Garza, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, and who am I?
DIY.
And DIY. Like,
DIY.
there's no reason you're telling me you can't have a 5-team ladder match. Like they did a 6-team ladder match last year. You could have done something.
And
with that.
And
Yeah.
Fraxian.
I'm gonna say it again.
And
Women's Tag Team Championship.
Fraxian
Leave
has
it
been
to
involved.
NXT has like 4 different team of women, like 4 different women teams. You could have them all
Mhm.
compete for it. Like
Yeah.
literally, just move it over there.
I think it comes down to the booking and Triple H actually prioritizing tag team wrestling. I
And he's
think
not
that's
going to. So
at
just
least
send it back over there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Instead of having these matches that fill in, like if you don't want to worry about the storytelling aspect of that, just put on an NXT showcase match where you put the best in like a triple threat,
Sure.
fatal
It's
four-way,
true.
something. Let him showcase himself.
Dude,
Yeah.
I rewatched the tag match, the tag showcase from like 2 years ago, the one with like Street Profits and Ricochet and Braun and War Raiders and them. And that match is amazing. It's so much fun. If they did something like that where you just had them just show the fuck out, it would be great. It would steal, genuinely, I think it would be like a potential to steal the weekend.
Mhm.
But again, yeah, we're at where we're at. So
It's true. Like like what's going to happen at Stand and Deliver this weekend? The triple threat match between Obafemi and Trick Williams and Javon Evans.
right.
could be-
Oh my god, I forgot that's this weekend too.
That's this weekend. That's going to be on the Saturday. That could have been like an
It could
NXT showcase
Legit
match for
steal the
Mania.
weekend, actually, out of every match.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of better things you could put in these spots. But we do have 3 pretty big matches still to go. So we'll start with the Intercontinental Championship. This is a champion Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Shaq, how are you feeling about this one?
I think this is my prediction that this is going to be the best match of the weekend. I think this will be the one that we all go like, oh no, they stole that shit.
Yeah.
Because you have 4 great fucking workers. Like, again, Braun is a demon in human form.
Oh my
Every
goodness.
single thing this man does is a freak of fucking nature. Like, I'm happy that Brock is not coming back because we don't need him anymore because we got fucking Braun Breaker
Oh yeah.
doing everything he can do, if not better. This man is explosive. This man is power. This man is agility. Like, it's unfucking believable. Then you got Penta. Penta's been one of my longtime favorites since the fucking Lucha Underground days. That man, like he botches every once in a while, but like that man, like if there's anybody who's got the word aura, it's fucking Penta.
Man.
You just hit the Cerro Miedo, you already like, no, this man's got it. His moveset is fucking incredible. He's been one of those ones that like I'm so happy that like the people who didn't know about him beforehand, like the WWE casual, have taken him like instantly. I'm so happy about that.
That's me.
They don't see him as like, oh, it's just another Rey Mysterio type. Like, unfortunately, I think that happened to Dragon Lee. But Penta's made himself unique in a way for him to be like, okay, I got my own thing going, and it feels lucha, like it is lucha, but it's different from what Rey's doing. Then you got Finn, who I've called this man Pin Balor for years because the way that man been losing. But he's still a reliable ass fucking wrestler. He's still one of the greats doing it today. And Dom, who's maybe the actual most improved of the decade, of like how this man has just been gaining sauce every single week. This match is going to be so much fun to go through, especially with the interplay of the Judgment Day. And again, long-term storytelling of like, oh, there might be some tension here between the two of them. And especially when it comes to Liv ghost leading the Judgment Day practically. My prediction is that Dom steals it. I think someone's gonna say like Finn Balor hits the coup de grace or Braun Breaker hits the spear on whoever, but Dom is gonna be the one to throw them out, take the pin, and steal the title. And then they can have a little thing of the Judgment Day of like, oh man, no, I brought the titles back to the Judgment Day. And Finn's like, yeah, you did. And it's like, I'm gonna stab you in the back. So there's stuff there. And then it takes the title off of Braun for him to move up to like the higher tier, the main event. like the upper card. Penta, I think he'll still be fine. He could stay in the IC title picture, so I don't think he'll lose anything from the loss. Finn, again, Finn Balor, he's still gonna be fine with the loss. So yeah, Dom is for me. He's the one to take this match.
And I also think you still have that potential new member of the Judgment Day that's been teased, and that may come to fruition here, which leads to the outcome of the match.
Yeah, I think no matter what, I think there's going to be Judgment Day developments here. I actually think that this is going to be the time when Finn Balor officially gets kicked out of the Judgment Day, because everything you're saying, Shaq, I'm with you. But I think how it's going to be is Dom costs Finn. Like, Finn's the one that hits the coup de grace. He throws Finn out of the ring, and then he gets the win, or he takes out Finn or something like that. Because I think we've been talking about stories that have been dragging on, and some of them that make sense, and some it's a little bit boring. Finn Balor should have been out of the Judgment Day months ago. This has been something that has been dragging on for a little too long. And at this point, like, whether a new member shows up or not, I just want Finn Balor to be removed from Judgment Day, because I think the only way that we get Finn Balor of old back is if he is on his own as a single star, because I do think Finn Balor still can be pushed and be featured as a prominent superstar, just not with the Judgment Day. Like, that ship has sailed.
Which again goes back to my pin. The fact that this man is still like high up on the card.
Yeah, listen,
he's still
at the end of the day,
so many fucking pins.
And fans, like, it says something too about how the fans like still respect him and know, like, they still understand how good he is. He's just been at the wrong end of the booking of Triple H's pen. No matter, like, I think that this is the perfect scenario where, like, honestly, I think any of these guys can win, and like, it's fine. Like, if Braun, like, I honestly don't want Braun to win, because I want him to move on from the IC belt. Like, I think I'd be more upset about Braun winning because he's still the IC champ, and I want him to be featured in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. Like, Finn, if he wins a solo Finn championship run, fuck it, I'm all for it. Like, let's speed it up. Fuck getting kicked out of the Judgment Day. Like we can make it happen now. Penta, he's the man. Like, they'll make it work. And then Dominic, I think this makes so much sense for Dominic to win. Just, he can get a sleazy win, just a cheap heel win, like sneaking in, stealing the belt, Latino heat, lie, cheating, and stealing. I think this is the perfect place for Dominic to win it, and he deserves it. He's one of the best, if not the best heel on the roster. I feel like from when we saw him debut in the Thunderdome with his dad to now, it's like, this is a whole different person. He improved so much in the ring, on the mic. His character work is top tier. Let's put a belt on him. He deserves it.
Just, before Bode goes, I will say he is essentially the heel that WWE want Logan to be, where like everyone dislikes it. Like, they dislike him as a character, but will still buy like Dominic merch.
Yeah, dude,
He's
I was
the
watching
heel everyone
him
loves to hate.
Him and Liv Morgan were on Hot Ones. I don't know if you guys know that.
I did.
The
I
Hot
saw
Wings
that. Yeah,
show.
I saw a clip of that.
Dude, he, like, Dominic Mysterio, I'm watching him, like, this guy's dope. Like, I'd love to grab a drink with him or something like that. You know what I mean? And he's like my age. Like, he's my age, like around 26 or 27. So I'm just like, this guy's hilarious.
He's so young. Yeah.
He's very young. Very young. I think he's 26. I think I saw that somewhere, but he is like in his late 20s or something. Still very young.
It's so funny because the little like mustache that he has makes him look a little older.
He just turned 28 10 days ago. So a fresh 28-year-old.
I'm glad.
And the thing is, there are people who are genuinely like, I've seen people online going like, yo, is he attractive? Like, especially
my girlfriend likes him.
Because he's one of those rare people to make that mullet and mustache work.
It's such a slimy, shitty look, but if you can pull it off, damn, man, you're gonna have every girl lining up.
Swag to do it.
Yeah, for real. He pulls it off. He's got
the aura.
Absolutely.
So Bodie, who do you have winning this one?
Man, this is one of those things where I think it could definitely go either way. I could definitely see Dom pulling off a sleazy sort of win. But I could also see a scenario where both Finn and Dante. Oh, both Finn and Dom.
Dante, you in the match.
Last minute edition.
I know. Dante just comes in there and like, oh! No.
Okay, hey, the way Triple H has been booking this WrestleMania build, who knows? Maybe
Exactly.
I will
You
be
hit a
on the
frog
card. Who
splash
knows?
like crazy.
Hey,
But-
you've got wrestling experience.
I do have a match under my belt, so I do
Hey.
have
Hey,
something.
there you go.
I do have something.
Exactly. See, Triple H, like,
Hey,
holler at
take
Dante
note.
right now.
Take note, Triple H.
Take
Come on,
notes,
I know
exactly.
you're watching. I know you're watching.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see both those guys just get kind of thrown out or whatever, and it's just between Braun and Penta. Because I mean, they've been building that up for a little bit, and that's been kind of fun to watch. I mean, I could see it going either way, but I'd like to see Penta. I would like to see Penta.
And it's
take
not a
this.
bad one. Not a bad
Yeah.
choice.
I'm here with it.
Yeah,
He'd look good with that belt.
Yeah.
he would really
look
look
really
good with
good.
that belt, and
Mhm.
like, man, he's really impressive in the ring. Like,
Yeah.
the guy has the personality, and it would just be a nice little. It would definitely like put him up to another level. I think,
Big time.
ever since his
Mhm.
debut. Yeah,
Big time.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bodie. I don't think it ends up with Penta and Braun with the other two canceling each other out, because I don't think you have. I think the main reason you have a fatal four-way is for Braun not to take the pin in losing the title.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
But I do
protecting
think
him.
there's something. Yeah, I do think there's something where maybe Dom is going to win, and then Finn stops him, and then that leads to Dom and Finn getting into it or something. Dom hits
Mhm.
Finn, Penta goes for the pin on Finn, something like that, and then that's how you have the Judgment Day breakup.
yeah,
Basically, what
Yeah.
we've learned is no one who leads the Judgment Day comes out better. This
No.
didn't do
Yeah.
good things for Edge. It didn't do good things for Finn.
no, yeah. I mean, as it's been brought up, either way, no matter how this goes, it's only going to further more development into that into that Judgment Day storyline.
Yeah, I agree.
And not good things. So
No matter
yeah.
what happens, listen, whether it's this weekend or not, I'm counting down the days Finn Balor being solo again. Get him away from Judgment Day. Please. And get him out of those
I'd like to
fucking
see the
pants,
demon
too.
again.
It's
Oh my
terrible.
god!
No. Actually, no, Nick. I disagree with you. They killed that thing years ago, and they had Edge beat him, and they had him lose to Roman when he was seizing on the outside, bouncing
Yeah.
around, and the ropes got cut. I am all, if they can make it work, sure. But man, that character they buried. They absolutely buried that thing.
Mhm.
That's when Finn Balor died. That's when things started to go downhill.
Oh, if your plan is to, which I think you could do, if your plan is to bring back Aleister Black in the Undertaker style role, and you have an Aleister Black Finn Balor demon,
Oh, that would be. Hey,
kind
take
of
my
feud on the
money.
main roster, I think
Yeah.
there's a way to
Yeah.
rehab Finn with
Finn's
that.
Finn's got to win that though. If they can bring back the demon, but he can't lose. He can't lose because at that point, if
Demon
I'm
can't
that
lose.
point, I'm Finn Balor. I'm going into hiding after that. Like
I'm gonna
not
tell you
showing my
right now,
face.
if that happens, Finn Balor strikes again.
Well, Finn Balor's got to be asking for his release if that's the case too.
All right. Well, we've got second from the top here. We've got the Women's World Championship. We have Io Sky, the champion, versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. This one feels like they're telegraphing who is going to win this with the way they've booked it, but I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger. But it kind of feels like Io needs to win this, right? With the way that she's just been
that's where I'm
discarded by
going.
the other two women.
Yeah, like listen, as to me, as long as Rhea Ripley doesn't win, I'm cool with Io or Bianca. Excuse me. I think my pick is Bianca because I talked earlier about how you're doing. I would like to see them do Bianca Jade at next year's WrestleMania potentially. I think giving Bianca this world championship win, having her hold on to the belt until next year's WrestleMania, because Bianca is that type of wrestler in that position where I don't think we should be giving out year-long reigns to everyone. Like Roman Reigns had one, Gunther had one with the IC belt. Obviously, Cody Rhodes is in the midst of one now. He's going to be close to a year with the WWE Championship. I think Bianca is at that level where we can we can have her have a year-long reign and make it relevant throughout and make it like constantly like fresh feuds, like people are locked in, engaged to it. And I think by making Bianca the world champ, you set her up to have great matches with Naomi throughout the year. You're setting up that potential Bianca Jade, which you could go different routes and set it up other ways. But I think Jade going up against Bianca, who held the belt for so long, and that could be a huge moment for her. And I know I'm kind of thinking long term, but I think Bianca or Io, either one is good. Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with either. No, Rhea, she doesn't need a world championship again. Like I would like to see her without one for a bit. But I'm going to pick Bianca to win this.
Yeah, I fully agree. The thing about this storyline is that like all three of these women are the best in the fucking world for a reason.
Yeah.
They're all incredibly talented wrestlers, but the way this storyline has been going has been undermining, I think, all of them in some way, shape, or form. Rhea, like you said, Rhea lost the title. There's no reason she should even be in here. Like,
yeah.
It felt like the most contrived way to be doing this. And like it essentially her complaining her way, she's Karening her way into the title picture. We're like, oh, I deserve this shit. Like, no, you lost. You lost your matches.
And you know what were you gonna say? Sorry.
She lost her match first off definitively to Io, which like I'm happy that Io won, but if you're gonna do this like right for the build, like right before Mania, you better have her like actually like defend it, have her feel like a champion, because all these segments have been mostly like Bianca and Rhea kind of arguing and having underestimating
Io's in the background just getting pissed off and everything. Yeah, like Io's
an
afterthought.
Like Seth. It's the same thing with like Seth in their triple threat situation. And Bianca, the crowd have been kind of turning on her, but like
that pisses me off.
She's also the most justified in everything that she's saying. She won the Elimination Chamber, so she has the right to the title. When she was the guest ref for the match team, the rematch between Rhea and Io, they kept hitting her. So she's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna be the referee and be like, yo, y'all keep hitting me, double disqualification." Like that's the fair thing to do as a ref.
Yeah.
And people being mad at her about that is bullshit. I know part of that was the European tour, and Europeans are they're them. But still, Bianca is like the least she's the least hurt by this. They're booing her, and she's the least deserving of any of the vitriol.
Yeah, and if anything, you should be booing Rhea for getting
legitimately. Yeah,
legitimately.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, Io's been seen like an afterthought, even though she's again one of the best. But at least, thankfully, with the whole actual contract signing, that she got the upper hand with the double drop kick, which was great. But yeah, the match is going to be incredible. I have no doubt
be a great match.
All about that. Ideally, I would also like Bianca to win, but that's also because I love Bianca so much. But again, I'm also not mad with Io winning, but I'm going to leave for Bianca also.
And I think Io, I think Io is going to retain the title, and it feels like a good way of, it feels like a good way of solidifying. I'm here. I deserve this. Give me the respect that I deserve. Which is like if you watched Raw last night, like it's interesting. They put her last. And that was the message they kind of led with, which, like she's been kind of getting like thrown in the background the whole time. It was like, I wouldn't mind if it goes to Bianca as well, because Bianca would also deserve it. But I think Io would probably retain it and deserves to retain it. Mm-hmm. To that point of Rhea. I definitely think it undermines this whole storyline has undermined her character the most, because it seemed after she lost to Io, and of course, she's never won against Io because Io's just that good. But it seemed like after she lost, there's, usually they release like background, backstage interviews and that stuff. And Rhea's was really vulnerable. And I was like, oh, this could be a nice change in her character arc. And it just seems like they just didn't do that.
They made her goth Karen.
Yeah, they made her goth Karen, exactly. Which, if you want to look at it one way, it's like, you know, she had that sense of vulnerability for one moment, and this is how she's gonna kind of twist it. You know, you could almost see it as like her like trying to justify why she deserves it for herself, but it feels like they haven't done anything that even hints towards that at all. It's so yeah,
Yeah.
They've
I feel like they haven't done these 3 women right in this build, because again, weeks ago I said like I think this should be the main event, and then since then, like I feel like like they weren't even on like they had the promo, they had the video packages, but for them not to be featured on television, like in the ring or anything to hype up their match, like to me that's like we can't even do that for them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking I think the match is going to be awesome, but it is like
it'll be great. Yeah.
These are the 3 best female wrestlers in your company, and it doesn't feel like you were having a triple threat match between the 3 best female wrestlers in your company. I just feel like they haven't hyped it up and made it feel like that's how big it's going to be. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It'll be great. It'll be great. Don't get me wrong.
Well, this is not our main event, but we do have our main event, and it is Cody Rhodes, the golden child of the WWE now, versus John Cena. All right,
yes,
boys.
Man, okay.
Dante,
the past versus the future.
Biting your lip here. What is your take on this one, sir?
I don't know. I actually don't. I'm very torn still of who I think is going to win. I think the decision of turning John Cena heel was insane. Like everything that you thought, like however you thought this retirement tour was going to go, out the window. March 1st, out the window. Elimination Chamber changed everything.
Oh boy.
And I think they could have been doing a lot better with this heel turn, because I don't want to keep comparing it to last year, because it's not fair to compare it to an event that was hyped up as one of the biggest ever. But like, you know, The Rock is such an essential part of this story.
They forgot him
and
entirely.
We haven't seen him. Not only have we not seen him, he's only been mentioned once. This guy was showing up every week last year to build this story and be a part of this. And now it's like, okay, we got heel John Cena. That's great. We still haven't we've gotten some answers of like, I want to be like they cheer for you and you don't deserve it. You try to be like me. You're a blueprint. Like, I'm okay. I get you there. But why did you do with The Rock? Like, why did that happen? Like, there's so many questions that still need to be answered. And because of that, I don't know if Cena is going to win this weekend, because I don't think that we've gotten enough for me to believe or think that they're going to like make this work. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I think if Cody wins, it's weird, because now it's like, okay, is Cena going to win the 17 championship at all for the rest of this run? Like, what's a heel John Cena going to do now without the belt? But if Cena wins, now it's like, okay, is he actually gonna show up and wrestle? Because he's talking about going home with the belt and everything like that. Like, is he gonna be one of those champs that just like shows up via satellite? Like, yeah, he has 30 dates like confirmed, but maybe that's just via satellite. So there's so many different outcomes to this where I don't know what I trust WWE doing the most with. Like, I don't know if I trust them with a heel John Cena without a belt and no Rock. Like, Friday, we have SmackDown this Friday. If The Rock shows up on Friday, like, I think my thought process changes completely. I think maybe something else, you know, his involvement changes things. But as of right now, I'm picking Cody to win. I think Cody beating John Cena, a heel John Cena who's trying to take everything away from Cody in the main event of WrestleMania, does wonders to Cody and his character and being the actual true face of the company. And then it's John Cena. Like, they'll find a way, I'd hope. But at this point, like, and it's literally like 50.1% versus 49.9%. Like, this isn't like Cody's winning easily. Like, no way John Cena wins. Like, this could go either way. And this is just my mind could be different on Friday, like I said. But for now, I'll pick Cody. I'll pick face Cody.
I don't think you're getting Rock.
This is
on
a tough
SmackDown,
one.
but
This
I
is
think
a tough
you're gonna
one.
get him in
No, I
Mania.
can. I
It's
can see
tough.
that for sure.
It's tough.
I also
Yeah,
see this
I
going
think
pretty
I
much
think you're
either
gonna
way.
get Rock.
You have to. Yeah, you have to. I think it would be a waste, complete waste, if he's not there at least in some capacity.
If he doesn't show up on SmackDown, he's definitely showing up at WrestleMania.
I'd hope so.
No
You know what's
question.
gonna happen?
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
Listen, Rock's
Yeah.
not gonna show up, but Travis Scott will show up.
Oh,
Shaq, listen. I already have enough issues with him being involved in
Trust me,
one of the biggest segments of all time in the first place.
Listen, I hate Travis Scott with every fiber of my being. Me and Bode were at Elimination Chamber, and that was the first time I'd ever seen The Rock in person. And hearing the "if you smell," like I was like the energy was there.
Yeah.
But they jump it into Fiend, and Travis Scott comes out, and he
and I hate that. I hate
so
that
fast.
song. I hate that song. It's so overplayed and it's so just repetitive.
I hate it. Like I'm fine with I like Playboy Cardi, so I'm fine with the Fiend hook.
Sure.
But like anything outside of that, get rid of it. But like in terms of the thing itself, being in the room when it happened is the thing I will never forget in my life, because again, it's the impossible actually happening.
Oh yeah.
And so, like you said, I've been so confused about how to feel about like how this thing's been going, because like I do like it when he's there. I'm loving these promos. The battles between him and Cody have been fucking great.
The last one was
that
awesome.
last one was amazing.
The last one was awesome.
And I do like that Cody's not backing the fuck down. Like even from the first like meeting since then, Cody's not backing the fuck down. It's like, listen, if this John Cena is gonna be the one that shows up at Mania, I'm gonna wipe the fucking floor with him. I'm like, I like that. You're the face,
giving
of the
it
company,
right back to him,
acting like the face of the company. I don't like with you. I don't know what the end result of this match is gonna be.
I give credit to WWE. Like that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's
the unpredictability
that's
of it.
unpredictable, but it's really there's so many different directions this could go down.
No matter what, my most gut like definitive-ish statement: Cena will have the title to end SummerSlam. He'll either have it before or at the end of the show, but he will have it by SummerSlam.
He's definitely winning the 17th belt this year.
That's a guarantee. That's
100%. There's no way.
But whether he wins it as Mania is the difference. I think like my first thing, I'm gonna go with the first one, and I'm gonna just say I think Cena wins 17 at Mania because it's gonna be the show with the most eyes on it, and so people are gonna have like the mainstream news attention and all this stuff. So I think it would make WWE more financial sense to do it here when this is the most attention that they're getting.
Hey, like you said, like I was saying earlier with Jey Uso and the shirts. Imagine heel John Cena shirts being printed.
Exactly.
17-time champ. That's money right there. That's free money.
So my instinct is leaning towards John winning. I wouldn't be against Cody retaining, but I feel in my heart of hearts like Cena's taking that 17.
It's fair. Bodie, what are we thinking over there?
Me? Oh, boy.
Yes, you.
Yeah, what do we think? You.
By the way,
you.
Elimination Chamber was his first like wrestling show ever. Live wrestling show.
That's fucking crazy.
I know.
What in the world?
I know.
Hey, it's hard to top that, or at least a moment like that.
If I ever go to another thing, it's like, is it going to
keep your expectations lower?
Yeah,
exactly.
Listen, I'll bring you to an indie show that we got over here. It'll be fun. It'll still be fun. It'll still be a lot of fun.
You're just not going to be getting those heel turns every show that you go to.
You're not going to leave in a state of shock.
That doesn't happen too often.
No,
it happens, but not that often.
Yeah, we'll all go to Greektown Wrestling.
Yes.
How about this now? Okay. How about this for a swerve? I'm not saying this is going to happen, but all right. But if it does happen, you know where you heard it here first.
Okay.
What if? All right. Because now it's a debate too of like Cena doesn't win on Sunday if he wins the championship, but it's not just if he wins it, but is he going to turn back into a babyface at some point this year? Like, would he win the 17th going back as a babyface or heel, whatever? What if now this is just wacky? Like this is like this is why this isn't my prediction. How wacky would it be if The Rock is at WrestleMania, right? But it's a double swerve and Cody turns on Cena and does join The Rock, and the whole thing with Cena was a big swerve, and now we actually do get corporate Cody.
Hey,
And now Cena
listen.
looks like a dumbass because he sold out to The Rock just to get turned on by him a month and a half later. Again, this is wacky.
No,
It's not happening.
but
That
it
would
is
be fucking crazy.
what that is. That's that Triple
crazy.
H overbooking. So
That's
it
what I'm
could
saying.
happen.
But you get, then you'll get heel Cody, which is in my opinion, if that's the direction we were going with initially, I didn't mind it because I think heel Cody would be fucking awesome. Like I
Cody
think
Lander,
jet black
We're
hair,
heading
bring
there.
the jet black hair back, bro. Like, oh, it would be money.
It's
that
real
won't
American
happen.
nightmare.
Yeah, no, for real. But like, bro, if that happened at Mania, like that's how mainstream media that gets people to talk right there.
That
for
would be
sure.
insane.
That
I mean,
wouldn't put my money on it, but
I kind of want that now.
it would be
I want that
crazy.
too.
It would be crazy.
Actually,
I would love Cody as a heel. Him and The Rock, like corporate Rock back in the 90s and stuff, like corporate Cody. I know he's a great baby face. He's the best, but like, I think he'd be one of the best heels too, man. He'd be money as a bad guy. He'd be money.
Well, I think
No,
if you're
we're
going to
waiting.
have this work, you have The Rock show up, but you don't get he doesn't go into the end of the match. So that's why I feel like, especially with the Hall of Fame induction of the match and stuff like that, you're going to get The Rock, and then you're going to get glass shatters. Austin's going to come out, and he's going to take The Rock out of the equation, at least for the interim. Because I think the only way that it makes sense for Cena to beat Cody when Cody said, I'm going to kill this version of you, is for him to genuinely beat Cody.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of how you have to do it. Like, you could pull the tights or something like that, but I think that for this to work, you need Cena to beat Cody without the outside interference. We all know that Cody and The Rock is the end game that we're all looking for.
We hope so.
And I think he does show up, but I think the idea that Cena does it on his own, and that leaves Cody to kind of question himself a little bit. Maybe that does start leaning into a heel turn. I think that's the interesting route to go. But I will put money on the fact with the Hall of Fame, you are getting that glass shatters in this match. You're making up for the fact that they screwed up and had Undertaker in the Austin spot last year. We're getting that this year. It's happening.
I could see that.
Yeah. Well, I guess from where I stand on this, I mean, like you guys, it's very 50-50 on my end. I mean, just from Dante, like your theory would definitely make, like, honestly, I would love to see that happen now, because I even had in my notes, like I'm in a daze, like thinking about that now, because I even had in my notes, even predicting it, at some point Cena is going to wonder why selling out wasn't enough. Like at some point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if
listen,
that's the thing that gets him to do it, that would be like, that would be money right there.
And you did the Cena heel turn. People consider that one of the best of all time, or at least one of the most shocking heel turns of all time.
Yeah.
1 month later, having Cody turn heel, he's joining him right up at the top of the list there. So
exactly.
I'm just saying, it would be wild. It would be bonkers if that happened. But at this point in 2025 with Triple H's pen,
anything can happen.
I expect anything. So
anything can really happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be crazy regardless. Oh boy. I wouldn't be surprised if Cena gets a 17th championship at Mania. If not at Mania, definitely at some other point. But right now, I'm giving the edge to Cody. I think I am going to give the edge to Cody.
Like, wait, Nick, you never gave who you're going for on this.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Well,
are you picking Cena for this one, Nick?
I think Cena wins, and I actually don't think it's like a...
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think it's Cena, and I don't even think it's that close.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Explain.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I just don't know. The Cena heel turn kind of feels like it's for nothing if he doesn't come victorious in this. It just doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't make
Yep.
sense to me that you do the heel turn, and then he loses to Cody. It's not like he can turn heel worse. Like he can't become more heel. This is your opportunity for heel Cena.
The
So
only person who has ever done that is Dom. He's gotten more heel while being a heel.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I don't think it's. I think Cody has done enough the last few weeks to make me think that there is a good chance that he can win as well. Like, I don't think it's like it's 50.1%
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes versus 49.9% for John for me. It's definitely a coin toss, and I expect both things to happen. Honestly, like I'm prepared for either result.
That's the thing. I think Cody's promos have just been like really good,
Yeah.
especially the one he just did on Friday. I expect Cena to give as equally good a promo when he shows up on SmackDown this upcoming Friday. But man, I don't know what could happen from there.
well, and I have to shout out Nate Milton, who has been a guest of One Gotta Stay, because I hope this happens if we continue with heel Cena. And that is, we already saw Cena make fun of a crying children in the audience. I want to get the Break-A-Wish Foundation. I want to watch Cena just destroy these kids' last wishes. Oh, please.
I'm surprised they haven't brought that out already.
There's this series of that I see this dude on TikTok make where it's like a child, like he made these matches on like WWE 2K24, and like there's this child that's clearly like a Make-A-Wish kid, and then the opponent will be like Take-A-Wish Roman or Take-A-Wish Cena.
Oh no!
And it's doing like 87 different fucking moves that aren't even in their actual moveset. So you see like fucking you see Roman doing like 450 splashes on like tables on fire on this kid.
It's so funny.
That's what's gonna happen in real life.
Oh
right,
my goodness!
Oh, man.
So good, so good.
No, that would.
All right, guys. Well, that is our rundown for this coming WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the overall event now that we've got it, save for that potential Orton match?
It's WrestleMania, so I'm excited, as a wrestling fan, but I'm definitely my anticipation, my excitement levels aren't quite as high as they were last year going into WrestleMania. Whether it be some of the matches not being as good or just like some of the stories not being as strong. I'm excited for it. I'm very much so looking forward to it, but not as much as in years past.
Okay, so when it comes to Mania, like this whole build, and I know people have been going like, "Oh, dude, this Mania's gonna suck because the build's not been great."
Oh.
I'll point out to 10 years ago, WrestleMania 31, the build was so dog shit. Remember that the go home show ended with fucking Roman and Brock doing a tug of war for the title. It was historically bad on like almost every respect, and yet that Mania turned out so incredibly well that like for me at this point I can't do any, like I can't have any other thought processes than just let them cook, because the end result, no matter what, the build-up could be good or terrible, it always comes down to the actual Mania itself. And so for that matter, I will still keep some degree of optimism. Yeah, it's not firing on all cylinders as it should, but like I'm still here for all these matches. Like there's very few that I'm not like to some
For
degree
sure.
looking forward to. So yeah, I'm still here for Mania. Mania is good or bad. Like I said, it's pizza. It's good or bad. It's no matter how bad it is, it's still pretty good.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah,
I'm gonna steal that from you.
Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty
good. Pizza. I had pizza for dinner. I loved it. It was a few days old, but I still loved it. Put it in the air fryer. It's great.
I don't need this to be the Little Caesars of Mania. So like,
Oh no, we're not talking Little Caesars. All right, we're not.
no. I'm not. I will never insult Mania like that.
No.
But
Hey,
yeah,
listen, if it's
it'll be
I
fun.
like Little
This ain't
Caesars
WrestleMania
enough,
36. Come on, that's sponsored by Little Caesars.
So, hey, listen, I'm a Little Caesars person, so even if this Mania is on the level of that, I'll take it. I'll accept it.
I haven't
Sorry.
had Little Caesars in like 10 years, so I can't say too much.
Brother,
but the
that-
one time
the
I did
crust-
have it, it was not a good experience.
The
so
crust
I'm
is
speaking up.
sickly.
Yeah,
the crust is better now, I would say. It's a
it
little more
couldn't be. It
crispier.
couldn't get worse. So I'm happy to hear that the crust has gotten better.
I am the person who is of the belief that Little Caesars is good when you don't have someone in your ear telling you it's nasty.
I was gonna say
That
it's one of
meme.
those memes. Little Caesars is great when you don't have one of those bitches in your ear telling you it's bad. I feel that.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, listen, yeah, some of the builds to some of the storylines have been, mixed at best, but I mean, this is the time because WrestleMania is like it is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. So this is the time. This is the moment where like no matter what happens, they have to put on a good show, and most of the time they deliver. So I wouldn't expect anything different. I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, let's see. Anything can happen, but I'm going into it pretty optimistic.
All right. Well, that is our breakdown of the entirety, both nights of WrestleMania. For Dante, for Bodie, and for Shaq, thank you for joining us. Dante, I know you have not been on Bite Size in a while. Do you want to shout out and tell the people where they can find you?
Absolutely, I can. First of all, thank you for having me on. I had a blast. I always love coming on talking about wrestling, whether it's WrestleMania themed or anything. So I had a blast talking to you guys. But anyone watching, you can find me on YouTube / Twitter at Dante on Deck. I do daily wrestling content over on YouTube, so you can check me out there. Just look me up. I'm not hard to find. So there you go.
And Shaq?
Yeah, you can find me on pretty much all social medias at Shaq Excellence. That's SHAK Excellence. That's Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, TikTok, Twitch. Pretty much anything you can find me there. You can find my reviews for like all the latest movies at cgmagonline.com. And I should be having one for Sinners this week. Very excited for it. I recently wrote one for Warfare last week. But yeah, just keep an eye out for all the latest stuff over there. And yeah.
And Bodie, our most recent trialist right now with Bite Size Breakdown. You can check out his stuff on bitesizebreakdown.com. Bodie, is there anything else you want to point the people towards?
Well, yes, certainly that. I feel lucky to have contributed to Bite Sized during this trial, and yeah, you can find some of my reviews there. There should be some up right now for the amateur, and of the White Lotus season 3, and of Drop, which was the latest Blumhouse thriller to come out pretty recently. And for all social media, I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on Twitter at Bodie Suleiman, Instagram at Bodie Suleiman. I'm on Blue Sky at Bodie Suleiman. I'm on Letterboxd at Bodie Suleiman. And I'm on Facebook at Bodie Suleiman. So, follow me anywhere. It's my name.
Don't wear it out.
Don't wear it out. Exactly. It's not spaced, but you can find me anywhere. Yes.
All right. Well, this is the culmination to the end of the season for this round of WWE. I'm sure Mania is going to be filled with surprises, and I'm sure we'll probably jump back on and talk some more wrestling soon. Otherwise, we will see you guys all very soon.